crowd liking the rally from China there at the end, and I gotta say, impressive stuff, because how often do you see a team fall by 2-3 players in that situation and somehow delay to go back up to a full 6? That was brilliant May play.
It was all the walls from Jinmu. Jinmu, he didn't overcommit. He waited for the Blizzard. He played behind Gushui's shield, constantly using that wall to block the damage, to block the aggression for France. But it's so tight. They're walking on a tightrope, VP. This is not a convincing team win. This is not a convincing push. They've already lost the first map.
China had the struggle the entire way, and let's not forget what happened on most of Point B, where they weren't fighting Point B in the middle of Point B. They're fighting Point B at their spawn doors.
A very passionate France fan in the crowd. China going to be on the defense now. They did manage to finish the map, which is the most important thing for them. But they finished in OT.
That's the upside. The upside is you did enough to finish out the map. The downside is it enough? Because I truly believe France can put on a very strong offense here. And for France, the magic number you're looking for, something over a minute. Because then you cannot lose the map. The worst case scenario would be the draw.
China looking like they want to roll out with a bunker strategy, have Jinmu on the Pharah, circling the skies, controlling it, looking for those concussive mines behind. France rolling out what we've been seeing them play the majority of this time. That Reaper, that Doom, double shield. They need to find a way to break the bunker. They need to force the immortality field, maybe even get that halt accretion onto Jinmu.
His friend's gonna swamp here. Leaf doesn't really like the looks of things, and it's gonna be the Pharah that's coming out. It is Pharah.
It is. As he takes a rocket and spawn. FD God gonna swap to the Mercy, gonna pocket him, hip on the Ana. And France, they've gone full pick potential here. They put Tech onto the Hog. They get Hardest now onto the Hanzo. They're gonna look to get around the shield, spam them, maybe try to break them and back down. It's gonna be tough to find the halt hook though.
Well, the other problem here too for Leaf is that Leaf is going to be looking to break the Bastion stronghold, but you have to worry about Jinmu, one of the best Pharah duelists in the game.
They're looking for it. They're looking for the hook here. He goes for it, does not find it though.
Tech 36 hitting awfully low, has to take a breather, cool off, and wait to try again. And China, they've already burned a minute off the clock.
Jinmu has Barrage. Jinmu already has Barrage, and one of the problems now with Tech on the Roadhog means there's no damage mitigation for Jinmu at all. They have nothing to stop the Barrage from coming out either.
Jinmu waiting for it, Barrage up, more than willing. Just put a little bit of pressure on Leaf on the other side, not committing too much. Is Eileen able to catch Chubbs and Tech in rotation?
Keo getting that Ant Matrix, and the problem with France's comp right now is that if they're not getting around the shield, if they're not finding picks, Keo is going to build Ant Matrices every fight. Literally every fight, that Amp is going to be up.
And France showing a little bit of weakness here. They're very strong on the Doom Reaper, but the Hanzo Pharah so far. Oh! Jinmu catching FD God, and this means that Leaf is off on an island. Not a lot of support.
I wonder if China's going to try to push them. I don't think they will. They're too static. Going to play tight. Nano Barrage is available for France, but there's an Immortality field. There's an Immortality field. There's double shield. There's Kinetic Grasp for China. They need to force some of these cooldowns early.
2 minutes now burned off the clock. 2 remaining for France. And thus far, France has looked perplexed. They've looked confused. The Chinese pressure on the defense has been overwhelming. And they're going for the flank, and
he's flanking.
Okay, they're handling it to back. They're looking for it.
The Immortality! It's so big! That is a huge Immortality from Keo.
And Jinmu says, you call that Barrage? This is a Barrage! Finds 2 back on the other end. Gives his life a port, but big plays from FT God. Takes down Jinmu, reses Chubbs. But France is still very wounded.
Supercharger out here for Chubbs. He's isolated on this island. All of China falling down, getting these kills. This will be it for France. They need to regroup. And remember what I said before, ZP. They needed to force Immortality field. It was a sneaky flank by Leaf, but Keo just had it in the wings, ready to react.
Really, the game plan there had to be, well, maybe he won't use Immortality field in time. And bad news, he did. It didn't work.
Don't trust Keo to not use it on time. The man's a legend. He's got a mullet of legends.
That's how you increase your reaction time right there. But France, 42 seconds left remaining. China Their defense has been incredibly stalwart here thus far, and we enter into what could be the final push.
This is definitely the final fight. FD God's on, not on Lucio, so they have no speed anyways. Dragon gonna be out forcing Kyo's Immortality Field, but they're still having pressured. They haven't found anything just yet. They need to find a pick. They need to get onto the point.
The upside there, they don't have to worry about the Immortality. Downside, still gotta get in. And Eileen, taken down fairly early, but not before finding FD God. France, Supercharger, slow push in. Eileen, though, has been res back up. Eileen can get a good position. Here comes the tank. As France desperately trying to stay in, it's not enough. Too many have fallen. China with a full hold imminent here on Hollywood. And France did not have an answer.
France had no answer to the Bastion play there at all. They couldn't find a pick. They played slow initially, just feeding the Ant Matrix to Kyo. And the one fight winner they had, the Nano Mirage's leap, Kyo was ready to react, ready with that Immortality field.
It was very smart play, and I think exposed a weakness in the French team where they're great at the mirror matchup, but you throw something unconventional at them. You throw a Bastion strategy, and suddenly it becomes less than certain. Will France be able to adapt? Because now the series is 1-1. Find out after the jump.
BlizzCon 2019 is brought to you by T-Mobile. Their newest signal goes farther than ever, and it's built 5G ready.
Prepare to fight!
Hi, Alex.
Hi, Connie.
That's some accident. I can help you file a claim on the State Farm app.
My insurance app doesn't do that.
Indeed. Let's split a cab to the con.
Every superhero has an origin story. We all gotta start somewhere. For us, it was the U.S. Air Force.
BlizzCon 2019 is brought to you by Coca-Cola, the official refreshment of BlizzCon. Facebook Gaming, a world of play. Corsair, do your thing. And by NVIDIA.
I really like his story. A broken assassin that turned to like a hero. I would like to be Genji. Yeah.
Probably Hanzo, just because I like bow and arrows. The whole like projectile that's like going downwards is a pretty fun mechanic.
I think I would be Diva. I think it's really cool that she's like inside a mech and she kind of plays video games all the time. And she's living in South Korea where all the nice food is.
If I was a hero in Overwatch, I'd like to be Reinhardt for just being able to smack people around with a massive hammer.
Reinhardt is so much fun. Just like how he styles himself as a crusader of a bygone age. I really love to see that.
Okay, if I were here in Overwatch, I would probably pick Mei because I'm always cold.
Probably be Junkrat. He's just a funny guy.
I would do Lucio. He can basically do anything. DPS, heal, anything like that.
I think I would be Mercy because she's my favorite hero and I like her kit. And I've always played her since the beginning of Overwatch.
I would say Mercy because I am a one-trick, proud one-trick. If not Mercy, then yeah, I resemble and have a lot of the same characteristics as Roadhog.
Those are all brave answers we just heard, but for me, I'd have to go Winston simply because I abhor change. I already have the glasses. Why would I change that?
You also are just looking very swole, like Winston as well. Myself, I'd be Torb. I do some, shin reduction surgery. I'd shrink down a bit, but I'd be Torb. I like what he's got.
It's fair. You could build some machines. You were an engineer at one point, or studying to be an engineer.
Did not finish. Much to the ire of my parents.
That's true.
Not finished.
You're going to get a text message from your mom later about that.
Yeah, I know. You brought that up. Thanks.
No problem. But now, of course, we are getting ready to go into map 3. Map number 1, France, with an epic comeback, winning the mirror matchup. And map number 2, China, changing it up quite a bit. Throwing a look at France they might not have been expecting with the Bastion. And now France, there is a sub that many can get behind it soon on the way in.
He is back. And now we hear the Soon cries echo throughout the arena. And it makes a lot of sense, and I think it's part of the reason why France struggled a bit on Hollier versus the Bastion. You know who was playing a lot of Bastion earlier for France in those comps? Soon.
Yeah.
And Soon was not there. He was not there in Hollywood at all.
So this could be adjustment for France going, you want to play that game? Well, we got just the guy.
We're going tower defense. We're going full tower defense, boys.
Well, look, I think we had some Terran v Terran in this very arena yesterday, and Bastion v Bastion, about as close as you get in Overwatch.
So Watchpoint Gibraltar is going to be our third map. It's going to be the Escort. Tied up 1-1. And with Soon coming in, it's a lot of leadership. It's a lot of flexibility. And most importantly, it's Bastion. It's Bastion. It is here for France.
Don't forget, too, later in the map, when you might want to swap it up, Soon brings a pretty mean Widow as well.
Thanks for the assist.
So now Jinmu going to be taking these Pharah duels here on the side with Leaf. Leaf already getting some very good damage on the cart. Kill building up for the Ant Matrix. Getting domed by Leaf.
Jinmu just got completely destroyed.
Leaf finds both, finds the combo.
Just hunted down the entire farm. Mercy and Eileen not having a whole lot of success near the payload on the Bastion.
The Ant Matrix. I don't think this Ant Matrix is at all required, ZB.
No, but when you want to be sure.
That is definitely sure, but maybe a little bit too much. Maybe a little bit of overkill considering that this upcoming fight, Kyo's going to have Ant Matrix. They're going to have to deal with the shield break. They're going to have to deal with the fact that Jinmu's still going to be contesting them during this time. Leaf can't look for a free barrage.
Jinmu's been free so far. Leaf is just dominating in the Pharah v Pharah duel. But now we'll see if Jinmu can fire back as Jinmu takes another rocket right to the back.
Ant Matrix is out. Look how close it is. This Ant Matrix is right on top of France. France, they're just playing the corner.
Mortality field is down, Soon out of the fight, and now Leaf finds himself in a precarious position. Take it down, Jinmu with the sweet revenge.
And while that Pharah Mercer duel is happening there on the side, the rest of China walking forward, finishing off France. Evito pulled out the Mercy pistol, I should say, just to finish out Leaf.
Not the worst beginning for France, especially if they can set up a time. And Jinmu, he's getting sneaky to a degree, or was, until he started shooting rockets the other way. Barrage is ready, he's gonna go for it. Not quite.
No, you shouldn't go for it here. Tech, very close. FD God was also there with the Immortality Field. Wouldn't have been wise. Good hold. But the Immortality Field is gone now, ZB. This is when Jinmu should be looking for the barrage. All eyes should be on Jinmu to see when can he get this set up.
Well, Hip is already mid. Valkyrie soon slept. He is woken up, but a lot of that. Wait, taking down the Immortality Field, looking for more, but Tank overall not doing too much here just yet.
France, they're stuck in the corner. The Immortality Field's out. Jinmu, he's getting ready to go. Look at him, there he is!
Oh, Jinmu off the setup from Elsa. Goodbye. Good night. Point A is China's.
At no point was France able to get out of the corner. And sure, the corner may be nice, it may be safe, but it's not that safe in the long run.
No, not when a barrage is heading your way as you are thrown into the sky.
And you see Jinmu here right now. He was waiting for this Immortality Field to come out after the Flux. They all land here on the ground. There's the barrage, finishing them all off.
That was excellent from China as they bring things back. And now France, this key moment on Watch Point Gibraltar. You do not want to be snowballed through point B. But Gushui drops the supercharger. FD God nowhere to go. It's already 2 in favor of China. And Jinmu just working the back as Eileen's in the front.
The pressure from Jinmu has been phenomenal there. France, they hoped to sit on the high ground, not have to drop cart. But because Jinmu was behind them, because Jinmu was shooting them in the back, they had to leave, they had to rotate, and FD God even popped the Amp Matrix, but that was exactly where China wanted them to be. They had the height advantage.
Eileen has truly come alive here on Watch Point Gibraltar, and it's made for a deadly double threat between him and Jinmu.
France gonna hold it close here once again. Actually going for this aggressive rotation. Look at this, they're gonna take the cart. They're gonna move towards the cart. They're gonna say, we want the cart now.
Jinmu, again, looking for a little bit of sneakiness here, getting to the other side, dropping the barrage. And it's not gonna be quite as good instead. Beating the Sigma, a whole lot of shields the other way. Eileen, meanwhile, other side. Tank mode and blown to smithereens. Still though, Jinmu getting work off on the other end. If you take down Eileen, guess what? Jinmu's there.
And once again, France, they set up with an aggressive rotation, but you know where they end up? The corner. They move up to the corner there, once again on the cart. They give up all the space. They're not contesting anything. They're not in a position where they can actually deny China this height advantage.
Well, there's good news. Next part of the map, it's pretty wide open. Corners, hard to find.
Kyo going to be holding on to an Amp Matrix for this following fight. Luckily for France, they will have their own. They will have the supercharger very soon after that. There's a Blizzard available. France, they have a very strong ult bank. They just need to make sure to not overuse it.
Eileen, looking for the setup right now. Baywall in his face, amplification matrix up for France, and the Immortality Field saving France so much. They would have lost 3 to 4, both teams.
The corner, the corner, ZP.
They found a corner.
They're in the corner again.
But this time, they've done a little bit better. Leaf is able to get the better of Yvetzel on the other side. And France barely staying alive in that entire exchange.
China's still holding on to this high ground. The Immortality Field's gonna be down. Kyo is down. That's a huge pickoff. Tech getting Kyo, that's the best pickoff they could have gotten. A lot of heals, a lot of sustain gone. Jinmu gonna try to drop the barrage.
Not quite as good as the other barrages. And you hear that sound? The sound of all of Team France taking a deep breath.
The snowball has been stopped. China looking like they might want to continue on this comp. Yvetzel is about to have the Valkyrie. And now France, not going to hold aggressive this time. Just going to hold close to the cart.
No, France definitely should rein things in a bit more. And China, on the next attack, well, there's not going to be much of a next attack. Eileen getting taken down early. They're going to have to burn the res. And it's going to be delayed, significantly delayed.
That's a good pick, not just because of the time burnt off the clock, but the res is gone. So if Jinmu goes down early, Yvetzel won't be able to save them.
Immortality Field already burned early from China. France gonna wait by the time. Oh, the Amp Matrix coming out, and look at the Immortality Field for France, keeping everyone alive. FD God, so well timed. Elsa moving in, tried to carry up on the Flux, but France is already able to recover.
Where's China? Where's the rest of the China team? He drops the Flux, the Immortality Field was down, but the corner, they're so far away, they're not at all in position to follow up.
The Immortality Fields from both teams so far have been tremendous, but truly, FD God's been keeping France in this game.
China stuck on this mega pack. They're gonna halt out Eileen, pick him off. China falling one by one, getting staggered here. Just more time off the clock. And France, they're looking like a rock solid defense.
France is definitely on the verge of turning the tide of Watch Point Gibraltar. They're feeling themselves a little bit more, starting to get a little bit more aggressive here outside the China spawn.
There's the halt, not find anyone. The rock's gonna hit Evoto, but no cleanup available.
Where's Jinmu? Jinmu's gonna be staying up on the flank soon. He has barrage.
They're watching him.
Oh, he's going for the anti-air tank shots. Risky. Is he gonna have? He does! Soon fudge! Jinmu, what a shot!
Can they deny the res though? Where's Evoto? He's going for it. They get the res still up. Jinmu is gonna look for the barrage.
He throws barrage. Jinmu's back up. He has the barrage. The blizzard has been used. And Jinmu, oh no!
Tech throwing the barrier in his face, and he dies to self-damage.
Completely denied. That was a comedy of errors for Jinmu. First, you get anti-aired by Bastion, and then the shield blows you up. I would swap to Mei too.
Tech 36, sort of an unsung hero so far this match, keeping Jinmu completely under control on the Sigma.
So China, they once were rolling. Now they're getting a little bit rolled. 35 seconds left to go, and Jinmu lucky not to get staggered.
They made a complete comp swap. No more Bastion, no more Pharah. It's Mei Reaper for China, but they don't have a lot of ults on the board.
Supercharger up, and we got the double damage here. Leaf, Supercharger, and Nano, and just rolling through China. Right now, two very quick pickoffs. A little bit measured here, backs out of the danger, and gets to work again.
His last fight, 10 seconds on the clock for China. The Flux is up, but can't even get to the cart to touch.
China right now going to try to make something happen here in overtime. Elsa unable to do anything with the Flux. And France, they hold on Gibraltar. And as we get deeper into the series, you hear the crowd just gearing up, especially all the French fans in attendance here today. And why shouldn't they? As France made just really an incredible comeback on point C.
They just need that stabilization. And we saw it again here with Soon coming back onto the field, playing Bastion for France, being sort of the leadership pillar for this team. China's still struggling to find value out of their DPS picks too. Eileen coming up a lot more, but Jinmu getting countered. Tech doing a masterclass, and we've talked about all the best Sigmas that we've seen throughout World Cup. Trailbin obviously being one of the best. And what marks them is that they deny DPS value.
It's been a show. There's no doubt about that, but the other thing I would also come back to, FD God. So many times you would look on the top part of your screen, you would see France, everyone's super low. You know what the margin of HP was keeping them alive? It was the Immortality Field. And the timing on the Immortality Field, when China was pushing France the hardest, was very, very good from FD God, especially on point C.
China, they're going to be playing Eileen on the Sombra here for the defense. It could just be a scout, could use the translocator to go back to spawn afterwards, but we've seen them play it previously throughout the World Cup. We know they sort of have a likeness for this. And if Leaf does roll out on this Pharah, Sombra's not a bad pick. You can hack them out of the sky, you can hack the Mercy out of the sky. You have a lot of high ground to work with.
Eileen a bit of an exception when it comes to Sombras. Normally, I'm not a believer, but I believe in Eileen Sombra. It has been very good when played today. Its build charge far above the expected rate. But now France, getting to work here on this Bastion Field offense in China, not offering much resistance thus far.
They shouldn't offer any resistance at all. Play the corner, play out of the LOS of Soon. They're waiting for a hack, they're waiting for Jinmu to maybe get a pick.
France right now slowly pushing, they get the hack into back. And Leaf, his wings being clipped. But the Mercy pocket keeping him very well alive, and Elsa ends up falling while that was going on. So France working at pretty big advantage here, and this payload should keep moving. And China a little bit stuck with the hack. The hack deals with Soon, and now China, they have options.
Good hack for Eileen. Tech 36 going down here as well, and China looks like they may have held.
That hack so incredibly crucial, although China, they can't go too deep. They're losing Gushui and Jinmu because they got a little bit greedy.
FD God gonna go down a little late, but the res is gonna be available. Actually gonna be used to get Chubbs, and now France returning to the cart. China buying some very valuable time, 80% on the EMP. The EMP is what China is waiting for. That is their ult. They're not close to anything else. And look at FD God, he's getting camped. Eileen waiting for him.
Sombra versus Batiste. It's FD God running for his life, going team, 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 team. And Mercy able to get back there in the nick of time. The pick isn't out, but it fed Eileen quite a bit of charge.
FD God needs to not get caught by this hack. Either that or Leaf needs to go aggressive with the barrage, but the EMP already out.
EMP out. The Immortality Field came out right after. It was really well timed by France, but it's going to be enough to turn the fight. Chubbs, super low, falls, doesn't have a chance to get Supercharger out. And soon, Poppy take away the fight. I think this means they're going to try and swing it. If they don't, there's going to be a swap. Soon, moving forward, looking for a bit more, but the shield's in the way. Stymieing how much you can do in this Bastion.
France, though, they're still in the fight. What should have been an instant fight lost, they're still in because of FD God. China sitting on the cart, getting mowed down by Soon.
And France right now, making lemonade out of lemons thus far. Looking for a little bit more of the grasp in the middle, but the grasp is too early. Jinmu just swings in over the top, spinning into the back line of France. And I think we're going to see Soon swap. He was looking to do it anyways and said, hey, this is working. I'll stay a little bit longer.
They need to swap. They need to swap now. They could wait for the Ant Matrix. They could do it for one more push, but if they lose that push, it's almost guaranteed because of the ult economy, the swaps afterwards, they won't be able to get the cap.
I'm very surprised here. Soon is staying on the Bastion. And France coming here as they're down to their final minute 15.
Supercharger is available for France. They can drop that. They'll get an Ant Matrix soon after. It'll give Soon a lot of value, but not if FD God is hacked and killed.
FD God down immediately. Eileen getting the solo that time. And it just puts France in a really tough spot. And okay, well, France, you're up into the sky, and you're completely down. Back to spawn you go. And France, they still have time, but not much. Only a minute remaining.
The good news for France is that China does not have any big ults yet. No Supercharger, no Flux. Eileen still 30% to EMP, but that gap is going to close quickly with the poke he's doing here, sitting on the high ground.
Oh, Soon.
They've gone Tracer.
This is an old favorite. A little bit of Tracer pressure onto the payload, keeping China honest.
It's going to be tough for Soon to find a lot of value here, considering he has no pulse. There's a lot for China to deal with him.
So China, they have to keep people back towards the payload. Oh, Soon just shut down by Jinmu. Final 15 seconds, France have to be all in, but they don't have anyone left alive. They go for the Flux at the very end, but this isn't really much of a final fight. China won it before it began.
And China going to be getting the first hold here. Eileen popping the EMP just for effect. France not swapping, not making those crucial swaps as they stagger out here onto the cart, hoping to touch.
We are now in overtime. France trying to make anything happen, but the spawn is very, very far away. You see Chubbs on the Hammond waiting. Soon is down. Kratos like for a little bit delay. Here comes the Diva and Hammond, but China, they're just swarming the point. And this delay about to come to an end. China soon be one map away from a date with the USA. Later tonight, they take the map. They're up 2-1.
France not getting the swaps they needed. They committed to the Bastion strat for so long. Did not get the points they needed, did not get the push they needed. They were never in that momentum, in that driver's seat.
You hear the crowd. The support is real on both sides, between both teams. Fans from around the world have traveled here to see this match. And thus far, it has been exciting indeed. China, one map away from being able to get to the gold medal game. Will they be able to do it? Find out soon.
BlizzCon 2019 is brought to you by T-Mobile. Their newest signal goes farther than ever, and it's built 5G ready. Intel, the official CPU partner of BlizzCon. Cisco, the official networking partner of BlizzCon. And by HyperX. We're all gamers.
We are at max capacity here in the Anaheim Convention Center in the arena. The fans are ready to go. And China, they are one map away from that gold medal match with the USA.
And China showing that flexibility here, making Sombra work. We said, no, there's no way this hero is still going to be good right now with all these barriers in the way. But Eileen, such a force on that. In France, running into the wall of their own inflexibility, not making those comp swaps when they needed. And you thought, okay, well, we have Sunin, we're going to have that leadership, but it just was lacking. It was lacking on Watchpoint Gibraltar, so now they're down 2 maps. Or I guess technically they're down 1 map.
They're down 1 map, and France, they're really struggling with the flexibility of this Chinese team, where China, they had a little bit of a slow start. The mirror matchup wasn't quite as good for them, but now that we've gotten into maps where you can run more complex compositions, where you can throw more curveballs at the opposition, it has been a much different story. And France, now tournament life on the line, where if they lose now, the best they would be able to do is winning the bronze medal match shortly after this.
And we've been talking about it throughout this entire match, how the crux for China was their DPS players. Jinmu, Eileen, they needed to be alive. They needed to be getting those picks. And on Watchpoint Gibraltar, they were there. They were a lot more present.
It's been the revival of Eileen. I don't think there's any other way to say it, where you look back at Control, you look at Busan, it was very, very tough for Eileen. But now, China, they've picked up momentum, and they are now on match point as we enter Horizon Lunar Colony, where France is going to try and push this one to a map 5.
France on defense here first, and look at this. They're going to play the Bastion strat again. FD God back onto the Batiste, leap on the Mei, so a very bunker-heavy strategy, a very protect-soon strategy for France. And China, they busted out the Sombra here again. Are they going to stick with the Symmetra? It's unlikely, because they're probably just using it for scout. No. Is that a Genji?
Whoa!
Is that a Genji?
Is that a regulation Genji? Is that even allowed?
Someone bring out the rulebook.
Jinmu saw the recent war video and said, whoa, that looks overpowered. I'm going to try that here on comp.
Gouchway also on the Hammond, Elsa onto the Diva. It's dive. This is dive.
The return of the dive heroes, and no giant robot in their way. Jinmu diving on in, looking for the Bastion, a little bit deflection. Now, China, is it going to be enough? They've taken a lot of damage in on the dive. Vettel already down in France. They withstand.
And the problem here with the dive from China is that they didn't force the immortality field early. And if they did dive to force it, they have to get out, but they weren't able to get out. It's one of the powers of the Batiste versus the dive heroes, versus a dive composition that China is running, because as soon as they get in, you just plop it down. As Gouchway, he's saying, please, no, and he's gone.
Gouchway getting hunted down all the way in the back. And now you look at China for what they must be going for. Has to be Nanoblade.
Nanoblade's still a very big weakness. When we saw it even Team USA during the group stages, is that when there's a Mei, when there's a Batiste on the field, they can just wait, they can completely counter you.
Well, Jinmu thinking right now that he might not have to play by the rules. 66%. China right now trying to size up the perfect dive. Jinmu to the back. Poke damage on the Bastion, but the real prize here, the outcharge.
I am ready.
And they forced out the immortality field. The problem is, Dragon Blade's not quite ready to go. Vettel already down, but FD God falls under the pressure. China now an opportunity. Jinmu immediately plays. Does immediately slapped. The sleep. Hip with the sleep ruins Jinmu's day.
And that is Genji in 2019. You've seen him. Perhaps a swap for Jinmu now. No.
If Jinmu swaps, they win. It's
That's
matter
true.
of pride.
It's now about the pride. It's like, okay, try to sleep me a second time, Hip. I dare you.
It's like you can't make that shot again. Not bad enough, dude. Either way, though, China doesn't populate. Jinmu, though, got Nano, got in on soon. It says, you know what, I don't need a blade. The Nano, good enough.
The classic, don't press Q, get 2 picks. China, they move towards the point. Jinmu opened up. He needs some heals, though. He's very low. Gotta get healed up on the point, China. Regrouping here, Leaf gonna go down, and they might have done it. The Nano onto Jinmu while everyone was chasing Eileen. Eileen opened it up, and Jinmu, he's gonna have another blade.
We call that the old classic Shadow Burn, where you're better on Genji without the blade. Fantastic stuff from Jinmu, aided by Kyo.
Look at the ult bank for China, too. Once they finish this fight, Blade's gonna be available. Beat's gonna come up very soon afterwards. Double tank ult. China, they need to zone the point here. They should know Leaf does not have Blizzard. They have mines. They're about to have bomb. They can zone point. They can force immortality field. No immortality field. It's on Hip. It's all on Hip here to counter this blade.
And soon swapped to the Sombra, so there is a world where Jinmu gets hit with the hack. He's putting a lot of pressure on the suit.
China needs to take this fight to point and wait for Jinmu to get the setup. They might be playing a little slow here, waiting for the Nano Blade, waiting for the beat.
Jinmu good to go. Diving in on Orisa, the Supercharger is down. Supercharger out of the fight. And Jinmu, is it time? It is! Jinmu pulling out the blade. Okay, well, maybe not the Orisa, maybe not the Nano boosted Orisa. As Jumps just doesn't care. Jinmu, he just turned around. He was confused. Hot tip toward the very end, but France in a much better spot in this fight here thus far as Jinmu about to get frozen out.
And to reiterate what I said when I saw the Sinatra Blade yesterday during group stages, it's terrible. It's terrible. And this is the problem there, is that they didn't draw all of China. They didn't draw France to point. They weren't able to isolate the backline. He just goes for it, and the Nano comes out. The Nano comes out on the Chubs, keeping him alive throughout the entire thing. There was no setup for Jinmu. There really wasn't.
We have to go to our old friend Captain Planet and get some Dragon Blade stats in 2019. They'll be sad because I think there's only been about 3 of them in this tournament thus far.
Soon's already built an EMP here. Evil told there's no beat available. Kyo's gonna have to play split. Gonna use this Nano Boost to keep someone alive. It's a defensive ult, but Soon has this EMP already. Leaf has a Blizzard. Very big ults for France in this fight.
France has brought themselves back into it. China still might have 2.5 minutes, but this fight's gonna be hard. Hit though, down. Soon has the EMP immediately saved. Soon able to heal himself back up. And France back over. They drop the Blizzard, but it's a very costly defense from France.
Gonna be cleaning up these heroes on point for China. Looking to stagger the Diva. Elsa actually gonna bomb here. Gonna find Chubbs, gonna die in return. It's just more stagger, and now no bomb for China. It has to be a swap, right?
Yeah, there's no way you throw the bomb there if you're playing Saint Diva. It would make no sense. And Sigma's back in action.
Okay, good defense there for France. They had the ults they needed. Soon gonna be swapping back to the Reaper, so going much more meta. Leaf back onto the Doomfist. China completely drained. No ults in the bank. Looking very good for France.
And time has just slowly slipped away from China. A minute 30 left. France in a much better spot. There comes out the Jinmu. Jinmu rolling a Doomfist. Find an early pick. Jinmu quickly in. A little bit by the Hulk, diving over. Look for Sigma. Bit of a wet. Meanwhile, Elsa focused down. Soon Leaf just went directly into the beat of China.
Something interesting is that France, FD God, invested the beat very aggressively along with the Supercharger. They knew that Elsa was not going to be even close to the Flux, had just swapped to the Sigma. They'll probably have time to build up another beat, but it is going to be on a knife's edge. Actually, they're not even going to worry about it because they're going back to Bastion. They're getting the Pharah, they're getting the Bastion, FD God onto the Batiste.
Down to the final minute, and it's been slow going from China. Many pushes without a whole lot of promise here so far. We'll see if they can get something going, and they kind of need a good Supercharger here.
I think it's a smart swap for France, but also because of all the swaps, they have no ults. China gonna have the Supercharger, but Evotoll getting caught by the Hulk, getting hit by the damage-boosted rocket. That's a reset for China.
Problem for China, they don't really have a whole lot of time to reset. I think they're just going to try and hide over there and wait for Invictus to get back. But this is a golden opportunity for France as Gushui falls! China poking over, down a player. And thus far, it has not worked out. Eileen gets caught. 22 seconds, and China, they're not gonna have time to reset. They get staggered here, that is it.
I have to say, this is extremely questionable from China. They could have waited. They could have tried to back up. They're stuck in the corner. France going a little deep. Bolas is gonna be out.
And China just getting picked apart one by one. They've not been full strength in quite a long while. France with pickoff after pickoff. And this defense not ending with a bang, but more of a whimper.
China never regrouping. They lost Evotoll early from the halt, from the damage-boosted rocket, but they could have stayed in that room and played safe. They could have backed out, but they decided to push anyways. Eileen went deep.
It was confusing. It was truly confusing out of China, where I think there were two minds there, where one mind said, okay, we're down support, but we can get a little bit of poke damage. We can kind of cheat it a little bit. And at the same time, they're not trying to full commit. They're waiting for their sixth player. And they end up kind of bringing themselves into a very awkward 5-on-6 where they just lose outright.
Winnable. That's what France has to be thinking right now, is winnable.
It is very winnable. And of course, if France were to take the map, we'd be going to map 5. And it's just very fitting for the day where from the quarterfinals into the semifinals, every match today has been fantastic.
We have been blessed with some truly amazing Overwatch. China going to be on the defense. Looking like they're going to put Eileen back onto the Bastion. A strat we see them use to some success so far in the series. France, all they have to do is get one tick onto last, and they win the map.
Now, a big threat here is that we already saw China really confuse France with the first point defense earlier in the series. France is not guaranteed to get first.
France gonna have Leaf on the Sombra, gonna have Soon on the Symmetra, just doing it for scout. Gonna use the TP to get close, come back to the spawn very quickly. Leaf gonna be invis, looking to see what China's comp is. The real question is, what does France choose to counter this? How are they gonna play it? They wanna go Bastion.
They're gonna give Soon another role on the Bastion. Say, Gibraltar, it was just a mistake. Wasn't a big deal. Horizon, this is where we're gonna turn the tide.
The musket war about to unveil here as we see both rival men's sides just lining up. Bastion versus Bastion.
Little trench warfare, I say so myself. Soon, holding a little bit back, under heavy pressure, trying to look for an opportunity, but the poke damage, a little bit too severe. From Eileen on one side, Jinmu on the other. Jinmu, he has a barrage.
Jinmu has a, this is a very fast barrage for Jinmu, and Jinmu gonna be abusing this flank. There's the Ant Matrix from all that damage Jinmu has done, but China, they're just gonna back up. They're gonna drop the Immortality Field.
Immortality Field's used early, but oh no, Eileen could not back away in time as soon as the Immortality Field went down. Resurrections, and Jinmu caught! Jinmu ending up blowing himself up onto the shield, and this is an opportunity for France to get point A, to assure themselves that they won't lose just yet.
Hip though gonna be caught by Eileen, China rotating back out. Eileen not falling down, not getting halted. The Maywall though blocking his damage, ticks counting down here for France on first.
Who's gonna moving up? China! They're really behind! They have to throw some bodies onto the point, but it's not a great position. Soon, protected by the Immortality Field in a great spot. Just mowing into Elsa. And Soon just easily taking advantage of the opportunity to provide it. They have an Immortality Field out. It does not matter! And why? Why did they use the Ant Matrix?
They thought they could maybe still win it, and I have to question as well, even more so, the thing that opened this up was that where was the coordination from Jinmu and Eviltool? Eviltool went for the res, Jinmu dropped the barrage, solo, no pocket, and tech completely stops the value, and that's what opened it up there on first to begin with. France moving here into last. They have Nano Boost, they have the Bastion ult.
And they open up with Nano Bastion. He's feeling a turret in the face of the rock. But now, does the tank come out? It does. Soon, rolling onto the battlefield. Rockets ahoy, hitting shields now. Looking for some sort of gap, some sort of opportunity. And Jinmu though! Jinmu to the back! Ends up with 2!
France though still here on this point. They are getting cleaned up. China has the better spawns, and that's gonna call it. Jinmu building that barrage extremely quickly, again, keeping China up.
Now it's worth noting, no matter what now, the series will not end on this map. France cannot lose, but they have a golden opportunity to win.
France gonna be reapproaching here, both tank ults up for them and the Ant Matrix. If they're able to find the position they need around the corner, Ant Matrix Supercharger makes Soon have a death rate, vaporize anyone, but they're getting halted over the top. Soon already down.
All right, France, time to back out. Look, if you're France, you're playing with the house money right now. You can just play the ult game. You can cheat the ult game. With 4 minutes left remaining, there's no way you can't get at least one, if not 2 fights with a massive ult advantage.
They just want to play eco game. They want to play full eco push here, get 6 ults, try to force ults out of China. Even if they can only get 1 before the fight they want to take, they'd rather have a 6 ult versus 5 ult fight than not.
We open up with the Ant Matrix, fighting China, forcing out the Immortality Field, but Soon gets caught, so does Eileen. Both Bastions out of the fight. One flux has been used, and Jinmu got to the back. The barrage takes down Hip. France awfully low here. Eileen res back up. And this should be China's fight.
Oh, very little sustain for France. They're going to get chased down now by Jinmu. France not playing for the 6 ults, not playing for the ego push. The good news is that Ant Matrix is very cheap. You're going to get it very quickly, especially while Jinmu's hitting you with the splash damage.
They did invest the flux into the fight, and you look at China right now, they're in a pretty good spot as far as ults go. France still, with 3 minutes left, they can play this a little bit slower. They don't have to try to win every fight.
I have your back.
France looking to get set up here once again. Leaf is gonna probably drop this wall from the side, maybe put Eileen over the top of the Orisa shield.
Ant Matrix and Immortality Field, both used by Kyo. China holding back, and France, a very nice mortality field from FD God. Keeps France alive, but who's Supercharger in the process is France. Spending a lot of time probing for weakness.
France, they have the Invictus though. Can they find? They found Jinwoo already. Can they find anyone else?
If they
Leave
deny
looking
the
for
res,
the wall.
they need to dive in now. They need to not allow the resurrection. Nusso able to res up Jinwoo, so we're back up to 6v6 soon. Going tank mode, shelling China from afar. The immortality field back up. It's tank v tank right now.
There's too many barriers. There's too many barriers for Soon. There's not enough pressure, and they're not going to the point. Most importantly, ZP, at some point they must touch it.
Jinwoo was able to rotate around, picked up another 2. And France, this is starting to get worrisome. If you are a fan of the French team, they had about 4.5 minutes to start this attack. And now they're down to 1:45.
China, Ant Matrix available, Supercharger available. They have that combo. They have Barrage as well. Jinwoo has been hunting around the sides, waiting for the flank after France have committed. Soon now, going Tracer. Maybe gonna try to touch the point. I think he's actually gonna go behind. He's looking for the flank here, but FD God already caught by the halt.
FD God is down, so this is all about building a little bit of ult charge. If nothing else, Soon really can't commit too much. Jinwoo has Brush, should use it. China's still in a very, very good spot, and France at this point, they're applying pressure, but they kind of need the resets.
A minute left on the board. Hip's gonna swap to the Moira. France, they might get staggered tech. You don't want to get caught here. You don't want to get D-Mech. We might see the brutal D.Va stagger here. And there it is.
Well, Soon's nostalgia trip on Tracer, lasting all of about 5 seconds. Back onto the Reaper. France, he had so much time. Now it's final fight, and China is loaded and ready to go.
Tech still on this D.Va, hoping to mitigate this damage. Right now, Jinwoo with the Barrage, with the Supercharger, with so many ults to support him. Jinwoo can be the fight winner on by himself.
Leaf is down! Leaf taken down early! It's a long block on Horizon, and France, they might not get a true final fight, the early pickoff. They're down to 4. They're gonna have to go in. They drop the Supercharger. France living on a whim and a prayer. Final 15 seconds as Jinwoo down! But it doesn't matter. Eileen to the other side. China rolling in from the front. And this, it's gonna be a draw. We go. One more map at a minimum.
The miracle hold from China, the Blizzard out from Leap, but it doesn't matter. The spawns are too far away. China cleaning it up, and Jinwoo just uncontested throughout the majority of this defense.
Overtime ticks down, and France should be thanking themselves for their defense because it led to the draw, and they get to stay alive.
France and not being able to deal with the Bastion strat. Name a more iconic duo so far this series, because we see it here again on last for Horizon Lunar Colony.
It's been their kryptonite, pure and simple. They see the Bastion and they simply go from a team that can be aggressive and in your face to a team that becomes positively sluggish. Can they fix the problems and turn this one around? Find out soon. It has been a day of evenly matched Overwatch here in the Anaheim Convention Center Arena. But you know what that means? We've had a whole lot of draws.
A lot of draws. I mean, my voice can only take so much, CP. We've had so much Overwatch over the past 3 days, and now we're getting draws, and I love it. But my voice box, my vocal cords do not.
Well, you know what? It's like you said in the green room before we got out here. You're just going to cast until your vocal cords explode.
Yeah.
Hopefully they don't, though.
Well, I was also taking it very easy, you know, just a lot of people, you're telling everyone to say comments to me, like I can't respond because I was resting the voice. I mean, I appreciate that.
It was incredibly
very
funny.
nice from you.
Look, yeah, that's a golden opportunity. You have a quick wit, and it's one time you can't defend yourself.
It is exactly true. I like that. Kicking me when I'm down. That's what it's all about. That's
No
what
problem.
friendship's all about.
That's what partnerships are all about. But so far, it is China up 2-1 over France. France still needing to bring themselves out of the deficit that they're currently in, and the biggest problem for France has been Bastion.
Bastion has been their kryptonite. They have not found a way to break that hold. They can't find a way to break the shields. They just can't get a pick around it. Something about Bastion. They're just waking up in a cold sweat at night. They're like, no, please, no more Bastion. Mr. Eileen.
Not the robot, please.
Anything but the Omnic.
It's been devastating so far, where France probably just wishes, hey, can we have a good old meta fight? Doom Reaper. Let's make that a thing.
Affectionately called Doom Reaper goats. You know, the Doom Reaper goats. As we just call everything goats nowadays. It's been a while since we've actually referred to it as such.
It's been a while. We try not to remember those days. Goats, iconic time in Overwatch history, but its time has passed.
It is. It is gone. Nothing can last forever. Hardest is going to be coming in, though, for soon. So soon, subbed out. Hardest going to be coming back in.
And it does make sense because think about the maps that are left. It is control from here on out. And that could be a very good omen for France, where you think about the map win that they have in the series. It was on control.
They can bring it back, and Hardest has been their control specialist. Coming in here to play the Reaper, so you expect now that Hardest is in, they're going to be playing majority Doom Reaper.
You'd have to think, and the problem here for China also is that China, they've been running on Bastion, but it's not a hero that is as flexible when you get in the control. Control is all about outflanking your opponent. It's all about quick, fast fights. And I do think that favors France a bit as we head into our fifth map, where for China, it doesn't get any better. If China loses on control, guess what's after that? Another control.
The question for China when we get to control is that, are they going to put Eileen back onto the Sombra? Or are they going to try to play the May Reaper or the Doom Reaper? Because that's where they struggled, and they also struggled with the Sombra before on Busan, but they have a lot more space to work with on Escort and Hybrid and Assault.
Well, of course the team could change. Right now it's looking like it's going to be Doom Reaper versus Doom Reaper. And this is in France's wheelhouse. This is very good for the French team.
France hoping to tie up this series.
4, 3,
bring it to another map.
1.
No way.
Round 1.
This can't be.
Is that the Goushway Winston? Something we haven't seen in a while. The Elsa Hammond is full dive tank. China, they're getting ready to go.
When China channels are in her Chengdu, here we go. And it might not be for long. Goushway getting poked down very heavily. Been able to get out of the danger zone early on. France playing leap for cover. So both teams kind of dive into each other, and yet both still unscathed. Elsa, heavy damage coming in. Goushway on the fall through, up and over, and Leaf gets caught. Eileen, the early pickup. China up 6 on 5, and now Goushway back in his element. He'll leap on in, and well, he's gone.
Gonna get cleaned up. No one still having control of the point. Jinmu gonna find Hardest toward the Coalescence out from hip. China, they have to back out. They need to run away from this. They need to come towards point, play with their own Coalescence.
Coalescence out. China still fighting first control. They get the flip, but France hot on their heels, moving directly back over and in on the point. They look towards the lead, 70%. Getting real close to Meteor Strike. Elsa out for a breather. Goushway is able to roll around. Take down Sec 36.
It's working. It's working, ZP. The double dive tank strategy for China. They're playing so split. They're keeping the aggression constantly. The tickling onto the back line for France, forcing their cooldowns. And then once those cooldowns are gone, Eileen and Jinmu coming in to clean up.
And this kind of is the Chengdu effect, where you think back to the Overwatch League season, and one of the complaints of teams playing Chengdu is, who do you scrim that emulates Chengdu? No one. How many teams do you think France played against that ran Winston Hammond?
Remember, Team China does have 4 of their players from that team. The Supercharger immediately deleted. Here comes the Goushway Primal.
Primal Rage, it's been a hot minute since we've seen ya. As Gushway diving back over, causing a bit of chaos here in the room. Eileen, though, wasn't able to do much off of that. Both teams down to Reaper. And Keo finishing things out. The Colossals out. France just getting poked down on all sides. And Gushway did enough.
And this is it, the China aggression coming to the fore, playing close to the chokes, committing deep, just deleting the supercharger and the barrier early for France. They're not letting France out. They're not letting them through this choke at all. They're making sure that they can get the max amount of AoE damage from Gushway.
China in control on a very unconventional Winston Hammond strategy. Minefield is out. Elsa, though, in danger. Went pretty deep to drop it, trying to get out. Eileen was trying to support, got caught in the same moment. And France, they just went directly to the point.
Now China gonna have to back up. They're still in this fight. The mine's near the point, but China need to regroup right now. They need to come back together. They need to set up their next dive. To be seen Elsa and Gushway move together whenever they come in, whenever they commit. As Leaf just committing that meteor strike just to get out.
France right now, not a lot of room to give. China got 82% on the first offense. And Eileen once more got to the back, dealt with the Sigma. China working with a really big advantage as they move in. Jinmu to the sky, rotating around. Meteor strike, chasing down the Reaper, looking, sweeping, Hardest is down. And China, well on their way to retaking the point. Leaf, though, a little bit of something to say. Still on the outskirts, Supercharger's down. France fighting through the but Leaf's down.
Gushway here, dropping behind with Elsa, gonna remove the supercharger. Tech, he's here on the Hog versus the Reaper, the Madman, gonna win the 1v1!
That does not happen too often, but the headshot in from Tech 36, right hook on the other side, pressuring the Doom, and Jinmu can't get away!
Tech 36 says, I see your Hammond, I see your Winston, it's Roadhog time, baby.
Roadhog, a pick that's been more popular than expected so far. Gushway, Primal Rage, but it's not enough, needs to get away, doesn't have much in the way of support. France still controls the point with Tech 36. I don't know where he was, but he got caught.
China still pressuring the point, gonna get the flip. France unable to get any sort of point presence while Tech 36 is gone. Chubb's on the Hammond as well, circling about, trying to find a commit. China gonna go in so aggressively. Here comes the Death Blossom.
Eileen, teleport, Death Blossom connects. Leaf, gone right away. And China, 98-99. France, they're gonna try the delay. They have a late Hog moving on in, but that's not gonna be enough. Unfortunately, you can try and go for the whole Hog, but it does not have the firepower this time. France, delaying, hoping for anything, and you want to drop on down into this lead? No, you did not, but you had no choice as China continues to repel France, and they are on match point! 1 round away from facing the USA in the gold medal game.
I'm feeling a strong Chengdu presence in this room right now as EP. I'm communicating with the spirits, and Chengdu is definitely amongst us. That is an incredible comp we just saw China play.
I wonder if that was planned or spontaneous of, hey, we may have trouble. Gushway, you're pretty good on Winston. One hand with the Winston Hammond.
Now 1 round up for China here on Nepal, and if they win this next round, China, they're gonna be advancing to the grand finals. France fighting for their lives.
If France were the fall here, they would be playing against South Korea in the bronze medal match right after this. But France, it would not be wise to count them out yet. They won the first control map, and they could still turn this one around.
Gonna be a mirror matchup for both squads. China wanting to meet France potentially.
Uh-oh.
No, they're gonna back up. It's just Jinmu getting something. FD God, please. It's a Lucio battle. FD God versus Evil, so can he survive?
Well, FD God survives, but Hardest not for long. Eileen cuts off the escape path. China, they should get first control.
And France going for that right rotation, trying to go through the mega room. China just taking it straight to point, and FD God was way too split there, way too split. They didn't have the beat, or the speed, they didn't have the boops for him. They had to come out and try to save him. I don't know what he was looking for, but that split cost him the first mid.
France now in the hole once more, and I'm not talking about the pin in the middle where you can find Mondatta's gold. France moving forward, trying to get through the choke point. China holding up tooth and nail. Jinmu got low, but easily healed back up. France, though, they're through the first hurdle. China, they give up some space.
China gonna be playing tight here around the point. Gushway so far ahead in the supercharger ult right now. Once Gushue gets this, China's going to drop it. They're going to play aggressive. They're going to try to shred France.
Coalescence out from him, but already lead caught by Eileen once more. Eileen has been all over France this round.
They aren't watching for him. They aren't watching for Eileen, who is sitting there in the corner. Gonna have to TP back onto the point. Gonna survive.
That was
nice
stylish.
try. Nice try, FD God. Eileen and Jinmu, they're here. They're back for China.
And that's the big difference between the two control maps. Eileen was asleep back when we were on Busan, but he's very awake now.
Look how aggressive China are holding. They want to Death Blossom Reaver.
Oh, he got pooped over. Eileen to the heart of France. And China, they are now potentially one fight away from a date with destiny. The gold medal match against the USA.
75% on the board for China, ticking upwards. Death Blossom was used along with a supercharger, but the rest of their ults are available. France still needing some ults to come up.
You hear the energy in the arena. The fans sense a victory for China here. Jinmu under pressure. Going for the Meteor Strike. Up and around. Moving over, back to his team. Goes for the punch, gets stunned it. With the barrier. Looking for live. Elsa! The flux! 2 down, Eileen in the back once more. France falling one by one, and it's all Eileen. The entire round, nothing but Eileen. Overtime, ticking down, and China versus the USA. Can you feel it? France, the last desperation play to delay, to look for a miracle, to keep gold medal hopes alive. It's simply not happening. China, they're so close, they've done it!
That gold out of reach for France. Almost as far away as Mandana's gold. There at the bottom of the pit there for the Paul Sanctum. The Chinese fans, they are ecstatic. And China, they will be seeing the United States in the grand finals here at the Overwatch World Cup.
And what more can you say about China? They were a more complete team, and they got better as the series progressed. France, already a miracle run here at the Overwatch World Cup, where you heard it from the desk. You never quite know when France is going to show up from year to year, but this team has been one of the good ones.
And remember, this is one Overwatch League player on that French squad. French fans should be very happy with their performance. They should be happy for the future of French Overwatch.
Now down on the floor we have Emily with the victory moment. But we're still waiting.
We're still waiting for the victory moment.
We are.
The victory moment has occurred. We saw Emily, but technically, the victory moment we're still waiting for. We're savoring it.
We're waiting. We're waiting. We have to build up some tension, as it were.
And remember, France, like I was saying, they have to be happy with the result. I'm happy for them. They did such a great job. There's so much talent on this roster that's not an Overwatch League. French fans, you can be excited in the future.
That's life right there. Just sign the jersey on the way out.
Very nice signature, better than mine ever was.
And now we are truly ready for the victory moment presented by Coca-Cola. We have Emily down on the floor.
Thanks, CP. I'm here with Jinmu. Congratulations to Team China. Now, Jinmu, you guys are so close to getting to the gold medal. What are your feelings right now?
金木，你们现在离金牌越来越近，你现在心里是什么心态呢？
我现在很激动，然后离金牌，我不仅仅是想离金牌近一点，我更想拿这场的冠军。
I'm very nervous, but in an excited way. And it's not that I want the gold medal, but I want the ultimate victory. Now, Jinmu, you have a lot of fans who are staying up late, watching you and supporting Team China. What do you want to say to your fans?
金木，你们现在在国内，你知道有很多粉丝熬夜的去看你们比赛，支持你们。你想对你的粉丝说些什么话呢？
谢谢大家熬夜看我们比赛，然后我们会努力拿一个冠军回来的。
Thank you so much to all of the fans for staying up late, watching us compete, and we'll be sure to bring you home the trophy. Now, Jinmu, before you go, we have a special gift that we wanted to present to the fans. And hi, 你叫什么名字？
我叫高敬泽。
Hi, and this is a gift for you, signed by Jinmu. And now, not only do you have this jersey, you also get to hug Jinmu. All right. Well, thank you so much, Jinmu. Casters, back to you.
Heartwarming moments all around here today at the Overwatch World Cup as we wind down on Saturday. But we still have so much good Overwatch left to go.
There's still 2 more matches. Can you believe that? Can you believe we have 2 more matches of Overwatch left? It has been a very long day already.
Well, we are blessed, but in case you wanted more France, you're going to get it. Coming up next, it's going to be France taking on South Korea in the bronze medal match.
The 2019 Overwatch World Cup is brought to you by T-Mobile. Their newest signal goes farther than ever, and it's built 5G ready. Omen, the official PC and display of the Overwatch World Cup. And by Coca-Cola, the official refreshment of the Overwatch World Cup.
Mais ils peuvent encore passer.
Last 2 years, represent France is a huge honor for us.
Là où personne ne nous voit.
When esport was recognized in US or in Korea, it wasn't in France.
Unbelievable! 3 now for Soon!
It's not representing a team, it's representing a nation, and there's a ton of people watching you because they are French and they want us to win.
And for the second year in a row, China finds themselves in the gold medal match here at the Overwatch World Cup. I'm Golden Boy along with Bren. You got Reinforced in Sideshow, and what a game that was, gentlemen. I mean, seriously, you couldn't have asked, did you just do that? Really? Really? As I'm trying to break it down and be the esports host of the year, I can't seem to get over here. Anyway.
You look
that
so
was
short.
a funny prank, Brennan.
Hold on. Did you really just put it back up again?
I didn't. Come on.
Back down with you.
Okay.
Wow, you're so short.
Oh my God.
So
short.
I'm a good man. All right. Why is this?
What did you want to say?
I don't know, man. What's going on? We've lost the train of thought here.
Okay.
This is maddening.
A fantastic match between France and China.
Thank you for keeping us back on track, Brent.
Yeah, no problem. Whoa, what in the Lord's name?
What in the world?
What is this?
It's a Vass's rodent friend?
What?
Oh, no.
What?
Oh, no. Whoa. What is going on? By God. I can't believe
happening?
It's dragging him away.
Ladies and gentlemen, Chad of Vass rodent friend.
He's gone. What happened?
They've taken Johnny.
Whipped
him away. Right when we were going to be hearing some incredible analysis from China and France. He's back.
What was that? I don't know.
What happened?
Are you okay?
Who was that?
I don't know what
I
that.
have no idea.
You just roll the highlights. I have no idea what's going on right now. I'm lost.
We've been invaded.
We've been invaded by a Vass's rodent friend. Anyway, well, I would say one thing's for certain. Jinmu wasn't playing any games. That's for sure.
Absolutely was not a gossip boy. He was not playing any games.
Jinmu is cool.
Holy moly.
Oh,
a very close back and forth match despite the scoreline, which would suggest otherwise. France giving it their all. And now we're going to be seeing France going, obviously.
This is a great attempt at breaking down the game, friends. This is a great attempt. I
mean,
applaud
honestly, though, watching this just cemented in my mind that Jinmu is just me, but with more mechanical skill. Because, I mean, the Wilhelm scream. It's a
Wilhelm
classic
scream
in filmmaking.
Can we bring it back? Sideshow, you have a point.
Yeah, I actually do. I think that China's DPS were phenomenal throughout this series. I mean, France put up a decent match, and they had most of their success while they were playing Bastion kind of competitions. But China to be able to hold on here on Horizon, and then take it to the next map and just demolish with Gouchwei playing stuff like the Winston, sets up so much space for Eileen and Jinmu to go wild. This DPS duo is nuts.
And I was genuinely being serious when I said that Jinmu is kind of like me, but with more mechanical skill.
Right, he also
what
has
I mean by that.
So you mean Jinmu's like you?
Yes, he's got a bit more.
I don't get you. I don't get you. But here we go. This is the Fan Pulse presented by T-Mobile. Make sure you get out there, use that hashtag T-Mobile MVP, because a lot of people seem to be giving love to Corey. You got a lot of Corey chants in the crowd. People were losing their minds.
Yep, he was great in that last game.
He was. He truly was.
His aim is phenomenal.
Yes, I love the Overwatch World Cup. Like, this is a long tweet, by the way. I can't believe this is 240 characters.
200-word essay?
Yes, that's right. But I couldn't agree more. The representation of all the teams, and they're putting it all out there on the line, especially after such a chaotic and awesome season of the Overwatch League. It just goes to show how much these players care about performing on the big stage like this. And then, hey, we got a boom on the broadcast.
Yep, but that's like it's an old school one, you know, from the old FPS Doug. You remember the scene? You probably do.
I do. I remember FPS Doug.
From a while ago, wasn't it?
This is terrible.
Good couple of years ago.
This is terrible. I don't even know. You know, okay, well, here's the deal, folks. Bren clearly isn't the MVP of this desk, but we want you guys to go out there and vote for who you think is going to be the Overwatch World Cup MVP, because T-Mobile wants you, the fans, to help decide this year's Overwatch World Cup most valuable player. And once the semifinals matches begin later today, as they have, you can actually get out there and vote by using that hashtag T-Mobile MVP and your player's battle tag. Also, you can go on Twitch and utilize the widget there as well. Be sure to keep up with the Overwatch World Cup action with T-Mobile, whose network now reaches farther than ever before. Kind of like Johnny's arms.
Yeah, you are really just still scuffed.
Look.
I'm
out of breath.
Okay.
I'm out of breath.
It's crazy. It's
I'm
crazy.
boomed.
All right.
Listen, the players are ready.
Predictions.
The
Bren.
players are in their seats. The game is abound. And of course, I'm going to be predicting South Korea for this one. I think that they are going to be taking the bronze finalist match.
Well, South Korea actually lost to France in the group stages, and this is their opportunity for revenge. And they did play a bunch of off-meta stuff during that group stage match, and I think that that's the main reason that they lost. I'm agreeing with Brent. I think it's going to be South Korea to take this.
I think that France are probably boomed after that semifinal.
No, genuinely, I'm with you.
And I think that South Korea is just going to go out there and stomp them.
Wow. Okay. Well, Reinforced got boomed. He thinks everyone. Okay. I don't know what's going on. We're going to send it down to the casters to get ready for the bronze medal matchup. You got Jaws and Leg Day on the call.
Cheers, guys, on the desk. That was a rather interesting segment, if you will.
Just having some rodents come on desk.
Yeah. And I wasn't talking about Brent either.
Yeah, North Side show.
Yeah. France versus South Korea. Can South Korea obtain revenge? A little bit of an unexpected loss a little bit earlier on today from a lot of players on the front squad coming in through from contenders as well, matching up up against some of the big boys.
Now South Korea, they have to play for that bronze medal, going out another third or fourth. No way to get any higher at this point, but they have had the boon jaws of the last hour and a bit. They've been able to watch France play, and when we watch France play, you've got to take note of that signature composition they're bringing out. They've got the Farah, they've got the Pharmacy, well, they've got the Pharmacy and they've got the Bastion as well. The sort of double unit where you try to bring everyone into the range of your Bastion, you're just shepherding them via Leaf's Farah.
Yeah, well, I'd also be very careful if I was South Korea about Soon's Tracer as well. I didn't think we'd see a whole lot of Tracer in the World Cup, but here we are in 2019, seeing a little bit of Tracer. And the problem is, I think if you almost tip, well, you can tip the favor in your...
You can tip the scales in your favor?
That's the one. Tip the scales in your favor by throwing South Korea through the ringer a little bit. Pick something a little bit off meta like Soon has been with the Tracer. It seems like South Korea are unable to adapt ever so quickly.
We're going to be throwing both of our teams over to Ilios in the first of our set of maps. It's going to be first to 3 yet again, Jaws. France in the white, South Korea in the blue.
Hardest had to be one of the main players I had to keep my eye on, especially coming to the World Cup. He had such great success in the Ghost meta, a little bit less so after the meta did change, but seeing him back on DPS has been quite a sight to behold. Same with Leaf, signature Doomfist has to go up against Architect this time around, and a formidable foe. A master of all, more often than not, hit scan projectile. It doesn't really matter if it's a hero in the game, he's mastered it. Mono will end up going down first to hardest as Leaf just playing a little bit more defensively now, making sure Architect can't get on his front line, and France end up winning this first fight. A beautiful little boot by FD God as well, since Choi down the well, and France end up capping first.
Carpe, they got super aggressive. He used that Shadow Step to get into the backline of France, tried to strain their communication, but the pressure was instantly applied. He had to use that Wraithhawk to get out. The second of that's used, Jaws. Finds himself in the middle of a melee with a French team. Easily taken down. The focus fire was there. France now in control, and they're now going to be able to control these avenues of engagement with a Doomfist. That's incredibly potent.
Very early Coalescence. That's a big knock up as well. Stuff taking a little bit too much damage. FD God trying to protect the back line, but Carpe's already dead. FD God gets focused out by the Coalescence, and now France, without a beat, might be in a little bit of trouble. Architect with a beautiful uppercut to get out of the way of Leaf, but both backlines going to have to be careful now. The Meteor Strikes go high in the sky, but Leaf manages to meet Architect in the 1v1 and takes him out too. The beat from South Korea to surge them forward, but have they got enough manpower to actually stay in this one? I don't think so, and in fact, they're backing off.
Such fantastic counterplay there from the side of Leaf. Question is, what does FD God want to do with the sound barrier? Is he going to wait for Troy to have this Gravitic Flux? It's a really good counter, Jaws, but maybe he wants to use it to get aggressive. You can try and deal with a Gravitic Flux just by using Moira healing. FD God's caught by an accretion. He now knows to be on guard, but he may not be stunned out of this.
There is the Flux. They're all brought together with the hole as well. There's Death Blossom happening as well. The beat's going to come out just in time to save Hardest life. Architect is the first to fall in the engagement, but Carpe's going to go down as well. South Korea in a bad way, as France now nearing 70% on well.
Perhaps too much preparation from South Korea for that Bastion and Pharmacy. Going in for this mirror match, Leaf versus Architect. Right now, the Leaf's falling definitely in France's favor. Hip gonna get aggressive here. The Coalescence wants to get a surprise attack, break the tempo that South Korea have attained.
Super early Coalescence here from Hip. They're playing so far up. They know South Korea have to touch, so if you play this far up, you might just force South Korea out of position. FD God was caught a little bit unaware there as Carpe used the Death Blossom, and now South Korea finally gaining control of the map as France end up backing off or just dying and going back to spawn, and South Korea should be able to find the flip.
France may have tried to turn the tempo on South Korea, but that meant that they were right where South Korea wanted them, presenting a ready backboard behind so many members. You can just charge up that punch if you're Architect, Jaws. Go into them, smack them against that wall, deliver the burst damage, get an early pick, and then you got a 5v6 advantage for a brawl where France, they've given up their position to try and get the element of surprise. It's a trade that doesn't always work out. Tech 36, he can be the hero of the next fight, but may not need to actually invest here. France only needs to win one fight, but at 99%, they can play for economy.
Yeah, FD God's already dead, so I don't think there's any way France want to fight this one. Like you said, a lot of time to work with here, so France are going to back off.
Perhaps you can try and make a fake engagement here. Make Mano use that supercharger and disengage using the speed boost off FD God. South Korea might be inclined to chase, make a mistake and put themselves in a vulnerable situation.
Tech 36 going aggressive. There's the flux up in the sky. Does turn around to make sure no one's coming from behind him, and Carpe's already dead. Meteor strike coming through from Leaf, straight on top of Architect. He read him like a book, and now France getting on the point, acquiring percent. South Korea have to act now, or they could just lose the map. They do so by using the beat. The flux is going to come up as well as Leaf is sent low. He's sent to the ground, but he's got the support. The Moira is back, but Tech 36 is going to fall to Choi, but they end up trading Sigmas. With Tech going down, it's going to be South Korea trying to pick off Leaf. It's their key to success. He's going to try and find the kill onto the Orisa, but using that fortified to get away fairly early.
Mano's all out of resources now, though. George, you can see FD God is on the back behind him. It's falling so low, and Lucio's actually going to chase.
Chubbs is going to go down here. FD God looking for some boost, but South Korea still in control. 75% and now building. France need to find some kills. Chubbs is going to come back in time, but Tech 36 is going to have hardly any protection. A big boom from FD God. He doesn't manage to find anybody, and Hardest gets found out on the side as Carpe finds the kill.
And he used his Death Blossom, Jaws. That's not going to be available. 88%, it's last fight territory.
Architect find the uppercut on Leaf. France now need to be the ones that act fast. Chubb's got the supercharger ready to go. He does lay it out, but they need to find a pick. Leaf coming back from spawn's going to be a little while. If they check Architect, might be able to do it.
Using a supercharged Coalescence, this is a lot of penetrating damage into the midst of South Korea. In comes the Wrecking Ball with a pile driver, potentially.
Bedosen with the late Coalescence too, helping the front line out immensely. FD God finds the boot, but Arte's in the back line. A beat to try and save them as Architect ends up going down. It's all up to Hardest to try and push France towards victory, but FD God takes the game into his own hands. He boops Carpe down into the well.
France, they have to stay on the point here, though, George. They cannot afford to get off while overtime's in session.
Overtime still ticking down. You got to be careful now. Leaf is going to be so vulnerable. A beat for South Korea. It only lands on supports, but it might be worth it. Manu's going to be able to come back in on the Monkey as well to buy some more space and time, but Architect now finding Leaf, but France manages to find the flip.
Now, South Korea, they have to be the ones on the point, and Architect's gone down.
Tech 36 on this legendary Diva coming up back into him. IDK trying to find boost, but finds little to nothing. It's going to be able to support the Reaper in the back, and now the Reaper unleashing the Death Blossom in the front. It gets eaten up by the DM, but a little bit more damage on the mech will eject the pilot Diva. OT still ticking through. This OT is lasting longer in series history, to be fair with you, Harry. I'm not entirely sure how long it's been. Feels longer than the map itself. Choi comes back with the mines and fires one, but Leaf's still not done with this just yet.
Not too much value from that Meteor Strike, but still, France being picked away.
South Korea still find the flip, and in a blink of an eye, OT ticked down, and South Korea will find well.
Choi Obin, one of the members of the Overwatch League winning San Francisco, shot great value out of that minefield, locking down the primary point of entrance for France, ensuring that entry frags gained a whole new definition. Josh just getting fragged upon entry, walking into those mines. Don't quite expect them, especially when they're a little bit higher, not actually put on the ground, but sticking to the walls can create an element of surprise you don't usually expect, especially if you're a Lucio, or if you're coming in as a tank, you can detonate multiple at once with your shields. France looking to be pretty effective when going even. Reaper versus Reaper, Doomfist versus Doomfist. This may be one of the most crucial matchups, composition versus composition, over the course of not only this tournament, but this particular match. France not going to give in on this mirror just yet. Not going to go over to the Bastion and the Pharmacy.
Ruin to be the place to go as well. Hitman in a little bit of trouble, had to fade away and use the Mega Health Pack. Oh, France are fairly pushed up here. They can use that Mega to their advantage. However, Doomfist just looking for insta-kills won't help you if you just go down. Just like Architect tried to do at least, however.
Carpe's in danger. Doesn't have his Wraith.
Chubbs is going to get owned though. Architect pushing him into a wall, and now France need to find something rather quick. Leaf ends up going down as well as Bezotin chases him out. And with South Korea's main tanks falling in the front line, not really too helpful. As soon as Chubbs falls, they lose the static shield and they use the Bastion to really curry around. Not Bastion, of course, but a Bastion of hope in the Orisa.
Carpe here learning from his mistakes. He was caught out before using that rope walk to escape, but this time he does the same thing, but he informs South Korea. He knows that Leaf's going to be looking for that punch. And you notice that Leaf usually plays Doomfist very defensively, so France aren't as prepared to cover him when he tries to go in, get that Reaper frag. South Korea can easily clean him up. It's a huge bait coming through from Carpe, and now South Korea are in control. For a crowing percentage, they can lock down the entrances.
Leaf trying to be a little bit aggressive in the sidelines, but he does get spotted out rather quickly. Coalescence coming out early for South Korea. Meteor strike for Leaf as he tries to jump to the back line, but little to no avail as he gets halted straight into Architect. Meteor strike for Architect as well as France are on the retreat. Nothing they can do about this. Nice couple extra kills for Architect. They finish the rest of France off.
You gotta really weigh up when you're a Doomfist, Jaws. Meteor Strike can sort of act like a Deadeye or a Barrage, but it leaves the DPS character incredibly vulnerable when their landing is so telegraphed against another Doomfist. That means they're easily able to charge up a punch. Second you touch down, they're gonna be slamming you into a wall. South Korea have got plenty of ults for this upcoming engagement. We're going to have 4 by the time all is said and done, and we're opening up early.
Flux is coming out. FD God using the beat, saves his team just in time, but that supercharge from Mano as he's just sitting there like a sentry gun. Urban's going to go in. Carpe as well throws his whole self on top of France. They managed to almost team kill him, just need to clean up Leaf in the end. There we go. 6 people dead for France, and South Korea continue to hold.
4 ultimates used though there. South Korea potentially over-investing in that particular fight. They still have to hold on for 1 more, and France are going to have 3 of their own, including that Gravitic Flux.
Super early engagement for South Korea once again. Hardest using that Death Blossom defensively, but didn't really find anything. Architect was already out of there by the time the Death Blossom got any damage off. They do trade, Choi for FD God, but Architect is still safe, and France still have to touch. It's now 90% on the board. Architect throws himself in once again. Who is actually going to touch for France now? FD God's only just come back up, and it's only 5% away. Flux comes out for France. 2 Tech 30 Fake finds nothing, and Architect with a 2-man Meteor Strike is going to finish off France. And South Korea will find the first map in the series.
2-0 on Ilios. Jaws looking very good here, and of course we did have all that time to study Team France during that previous engagement they had with Team China, and obviously Coach Krusty has been talking to the guys and trying to get them back in the game after that loss to the USA.
Let's toss to a quick break, go. We'll see you guys in a sec.
The 2019 Overwatch World Cup is brought to you by T-Mobile. Their newest signal goes farther than ever, and it's built 5G ready. Omen, the official PC and display of the Overwatch World Cup. And by Coca-Cola, the official refreshment of the Overwatch World Cup.
Last 2 years, represent France is a huge honor for us.
Là où personne ne nous voit.
When eSport was recognized in US or in...
Prepare to fight! Hi, Alex.
Hi, Connie.
That's some accident. I can help you file a claim on the State Farm app.
My insurance app doesn't do that.
Indeed. Let's split a cab to the car.
Every superhero has an origin story. We all gotta start somewhere. For us, it was the U.S. Air Force.
BlizzCon 2019 is brought to you by Coca-Cola, the official refreshment of BlizzCon. Facebook Gaming, a world of play. Corsair, do your thing. And by NVIDIA.
Hey guys, welcome back. South Korea facing up against France. South Korea looking for the redemption after France handed them a loss a little earlier on today.
3 times winners of the Overwatch World Cup right here, struck down mere hours ago by Team USA, much to the love of our local crowd here in Anaheim, California. But France remains the last hope of EU in this bracket. Going to be looking to claim that third place behind China and USA. Going to be moving over onto Hybrid now, Jaws, and I'm expecting we're probably going to be seeing some of that Bastion in the Pharmacy. I keep saying it, and I keep saying it until France make me look less wrong.
Well, I hope so. Soon has just been absolutely dominating on the Bastion. I want to see him a little bit more on the Widowmaker as well, please, soon. Thank you very much. And I got to say, France, especially when you're looking at Well, it's like, whoa, this is insane how fast they're taking these fights. And the way the two Doomfists play and interact with each other too, and Architect is very much willing to just throw himself with the backline. And we see France just playing a little bit more defensively, just waiting for Architect, either trying to find the mutual stuns, or even just when he flings himself in, he has to use abilities to get out, and then following up after that, because they know Architect is then out of cooldowns to use.
Yeah, Leaf is definitely stylistically out of these two, but far more defensive. Doomfist likes to go for his counter punches when it's far more telegraphed where his counterpart is going to be going. And we saw Carpe actually changing up his playstyle, at least the team changing their playstyle around how Carpe was playing to try and deal with that. So Carpe TP into the back, then uses Rayform to get out. That means the Reaper's vulnerable, right? You go in after that. Really try and make Leaf play a bit more aggressive, but then that's when Architect gets to be the defensive boot Doomfist. In that case, great baits coming out from Carpe, and I wonder if the same thing is going to be occurring here, if we see similar compositions between these two, or if there is going to be this constant war of iteration between the two teams. Oh, yeah, you're going to do this, well, I'm going to do this, and try and deal with this here and there. Maybe we're going to use a Halt on Carpe after we use this Rayform. Maybe that's our best plan to get rid of that Reaper damage.
King's Row is going to be the next map. France making a small substitution as well. We've got Soon coming in and Hardest stepping away. France, they're on the defense first, and they've chosen that Bastion. There you go, Fire Mercy combo coming out as well. You got your wish, Harry.
That's exactly what I want to see. Leaf's been an absolute monster on for Rocket Queen thus far. Soon and Co. crouching away, going to be a little bit hidden. South Korea know exactly what to expect here. Coming out with both the Farah and the Hanzo draws. This is all about crossfires. You need to force the attention of the Sigma. You need to try and make sure that you can make that Sigma look in two different directions at once, allowing for potentially an opening in the shield to get some damage onto Soon.
Oh, very early rotation. Actually, FD to Ward already goes down. No mortality now available for France, and high in the sky, Architect raining death from above with those rockets. Choi may have got rocked, but the rest of France are going to end up falling. What a quick offense for South Korea. Like I said before, looking for that redemption, Harry. Here you go, first point cap on the first push.
Well, I talked about crossfires, Josh. I didn't accept a tri-fire coming through both of those projectile DPS, as well as a flank from Choyobin, of all people. Those hyperspheres do a lot of damage, but you can start hitting them direct. France were not prepared for 3 angles of attack coming through from South Korea, especially when each one is doing so much damage. And it's reflected right now in the ultimate charge. Look at how well Choyobin's doing. He is about 40% ahead of his counterpart in Tech 3-6 right now. As for 2 prepared to have a quick duel, trying to control his flank is so important when you want a Hanzo to be able to get round and get a couple of free shots.
Carpe does end up going down. IDK does find the res, and now the cart is moving underneath this archway. It'll be rather difficult, especially if you're going up a defending Farah, but Leaf already goes down. Choi is going to suffer the same fate. But France still in an awkward situation where they can hold here, but they got to watch out for Architect. He's nearing that barrage.
Soon has to reposition. Cannot afford to be without the Sigma shield right now. It's taken too much damage. For now, it's all about rotations. Don't allow Architect to know exactly where you are. Make him peek so that he's in more danger in order to accrue that information. You can see right now he's round the back. Choyobin wants to distract him to allow a road in for Architect.
There's the window. Soon doing a whole bunch of damage. Catches Mano on the exit. They still control the payload as well. South Korea gonna have to wait this one out. Architect, though, Harry, is in the back line trying to duel. Same with Choi, who's now in no man's land, basically. The Graspers is used, but so is the Flux. He does get rocked out of the sky. It's gonna do almost negative damage, but the Dragons are coming in to try and buy a little bit more space. However, South Korea just happy now. Just moving forward on this payload, as they still acquired some space. I mean, France here, maybe they should have pushed in. I mean, those Dragons did negative. And there you go, Architect from the sky gets taken out by Soon. Immortality Field doing a lot of work, but Mano doing a little bit more as Soon ends up going down. And now it's going to be all down to Leaf, just trying to force people into this bookstore, so the splash damage just destroys them.
Mano was trying to finish the work with a Valkyrie's going to stymie him exactly where he stands. It's a stalemate now, but France, they're going to take a little bit longer to respawn, in Badoshin, he can force everyone forward with the Transcendence draws, but not before he takes out a hit first.
Yeah, Leaf's not going to have a pocket in this instance, so he's going to have to play so safe. He's even half HP also. FD God's going to have to work some magic to heal him up in the skies. Chubbs ends up going down to a damage boost plus a Discord orb. Look at the assists across that kill.
Soon's on Tracer now. What's he going to be able to do with this? Wants to try and get into the backline, either get a one clip on Bogosian or force out that Transcendence, so it's not available to try and counteract tech on this Gravitic Flux.
Supercharger coming out to try and make this next push work. FD God uses that window, but that Transcendence doing a whole bunch of work, and Architect just dealing with these flankers. Soon gets insta-clipped, actually just headshot by Carpe on the side. And South Korea making France bleed right now, as Carpe and Architect just putting on a clinic.
Halted together, there's your supercharged damage boosted rocket from Architect, taking multiple people apart at once. Body part's going to spray all over the floor. South Korea now going to be moving on to this third point, looking very dominant here on King's Row. France Jaws, they need to cash in all their checks, they need to make their assets work, they need to buy some stability. Carpe and Soon, it's already been spotted out.
Oh, what a headshot by Soon, but Carpe just rips his skull clean off. You don't want to take that fight, man, not when Carpe's got a pocket. Hib does end up rezzing Soon, and that Barrage looked to solo Carpe out, but it didn't mean a thing, really. And Badosa managed to take an FD God on the side. His Supercharge is going to have to do a whole bunch of work, but Badosa going to town on the front line. Soon managed to take out Carpe, but is it actually going to be enough?
The cart's barely stopped even moving right now, Jaws. 3 minutes and 50 on the time bank, and it's only going to be Chubbs who's standing in its way.
That initial kill by Soon's going to get rezzed up by IDK, so now South Korea, 6 men on the point, moving forward. Carpe takes out Leaf, a Barrage from Architect behind the shield. He's basically immortal, and South Korea speed running King's Row against France. Chubbs is going to fall, and there's no only hit to take care of. A Supercharger is going to end it all, and Leaf is going to go down on Tracer. That is going to be it. 3 minutes and 20 seconds on the time crank.
The presence of mind from Choyobin, some would say one of the greatest off tanks in the world. In this case, certainly seeming like it. The Giga Brain. We saw a Barrage come out from South Korea's Farah. And Tech 36 respawning on the Roadhog could have been very dangerous, like getting a right click from a perfect angle, getting a left click when they got a bit closer, or a hook to just cancel it out entirely. But that entire angle for the Roadhog was cancelled out by an experimental barrier that Choyobin threw out from over on the car. So it's like, okay, I'll just play around my Orisa barrier. I'm going to be an influence on this fight over here while I am still brawling with my Orisa. The man is everywhere at once.
Choi having a little bit of laughter himself there. Knew what they just did to France.
He knows what he did.
3 minutes and 20 seconds, especially on King's Row in this meta. It's pretty good. It's pretty good.
It'll do.
It'll do. Especially when it comes to...
We take those.
Second point as well. It's almost an insta-cap. You cap first, you roll on forwards because you won the fight, you're more ult charge, etc., etc. It is so hard to defend, especially when you're up against Faras as well, who can set up such a perfect angle and take the forward position so quickly as well while you leave one of the tanks on the side. Of course, it was a bit of a different defense for France. Of course, they did have the Bastion, so Architect had to deal with that, but second point is so treacherous, and that's where you're going to lose your most time.
We got to talk about the different defense though, Jaws. France with the Bastion and the Farah, that's been their trump card in so many series. It worked so well against the UK, and it's had some efficacy as well in these playoffs. South Korea being able to dismantle it so easily could bode very poorly for the Frenchmen. May decide to go for more of these mirror matches like on Ilios, where they were going quite even. Rolling out of the gates now. Soon doesn't want to go for that early shot, just having a bit of a scout, knowing that he's up against double shield. He's not going to be getting a huge amount of value. Architect now is on the May. They cannot afford to go for an entirely slow engagement here, otherwise isolation may well be on the cards. Leaf moving over onto the Farah. The signature composition from France just a little bit too slow, and that's something Tech's been so good at, Jaws, all the way through this tournament, putting the experimental barrier in place. But South Korea, the calling is just too precise. They're there before the experimental barrier can even travel.
Soon gets deleted once again after he got rezzed by Hip. They didn't have Immortality Field. They tried to use it last time. Even Hip gets taken out of the sky by Architect. France did put the Bastion up on the high ground using the Sim. Quickly swapped off, of course, for Leaf, but they're just getting picked apart at this point.
Yeah, now how Soon going to make his entrance? Unless Leaf is going to give up his ultimate charge to go over onto that Symmetra again. Instead, he's going to try and demand attention. He creates a line of sight deficit for Architect, so he cannot put up a perfect wall to make sure that Soon is isolated. This will give France a chance to move forward. If South Korea will give him a space, they're not. They're pressing W. Then they won't let their foot off the gas, Jaws.
Yeah, no, why would you? I mean, FD God used Immortality Field early once again. You know Soon doesn't really have that much protection without it. France are going to make a slow commute up these stairs. A minute and a bit has been elapsed as well, and South Korea building up ults. Architect's going to have this Blizzard soon as well.
Just throwing out these icicles. He's having a grand old time trying to take down Hip as he has to get into the safety of cover. FD God lays down the... Oh no, that's a miss. That is 0% amplification. Matrix accuracy from my boy.
That is... whoa! Didn't mean to place it there, I'm sure. Architect looking for something rather sneaky.
Go next.
They know where he is now, actually. Nice little almost two-tap on Hip. Use the wall to escape. Point is being claimed, though. You could see Chubbs is on it, and soon just managed to kill out Badosin, so now South Korea only relying on this Lucio for healing. Hip pops the Valkyrie to move everybody forward and make sure he can keep the Orisa alive in the front line. They've secured a tick, but can they get anything more? Mano going incredibly low and soon finally finding him. Leaf is going to use that barrage, or maybe he doesn't even need to, as Architect falls as well, but what a kind of a slow push here from France, but they are making it work in the end.
We're going to call FD God's Amplification Matrix right there a bait. It was just trying to give South Korea a bit of extra confidence. That's going to allow France to take the point. They're going to get 2 minutes and 30 extra on their clock, 4 minutes and 10 seconds now. Try and push through B. They've got the tools to try and do this, Jaws. Configuration tank is available for soon. That's going to allow him to deal burst damage at long range if he wishes to. But who is he really going to target out with that? Architect, Carpe, they can both tank a shot. It's only going to be Badoshin, who's now on the Ana, and IDK getting hit with direct rockets from that tank that are really going to be hugely vulnerable. Leaf, he's going to have to look at these more meaty targets with his barrage. That's going to be his priority unless he can get the drop onto Badoshin.
Oh, Blizzard from behind. He didn't really spot out Carpe either. There's the barrage from Leaf, though. That's 1, 2, and 3 kills. That Blizzard may have frozen up soon and killed him off, but France and Leaf are going to do the rest. Choi Oben now. Swipe between a rook and a half
place.
A rock and a half place. I was going to say a rock and a payload. Oh, nice little sleep. That's all right.
Badoshin, just going to put the Leaf down for a little second. France are now going to get some space on the payload. South Korea need to coalesce here. They didn't get what they wanted from that Blizzard, but will keep Architect on the May. He's their primary tool to try and counter out this Bastion. Push him up in the air with a wall, put a sleep dart exactly where he is. Choi Oben's got a Gravitic Flux ready to go. France may not be able to defend themselves.
There's the window that they were looking for. Beautiful nade as well, but Immortality Field's going to save them for now. Chubbs' Supercharger does end up going down. The Flux around the corner might just do it, but Chubbs is now already dead. It's going to be disaster for France. They haven't really got a front line to really play around now. No permanent shielding at least, but Leaf doesn't care. Mano and Architect are going to go down. And now France with a beautiful time bank. 4 minutes now heading into the factory phase.
Could we be seeing 2-3 minute plus time banks on King's Row in 2019, Jaws? Could be possible. South Korea didn't invest either of their support ultimates in that particular fight, though. A lot of resilience is going to be theirs in this forthcoming battle. What are they going to use it against? Potentially just to buy stability here would be the greatest investment. But Mano's already down. You can't take this fight. Just allow that payload to move a little bit further. But by the time that you are ready to take this full engagement, you're not actually going to go with Mano here.
Nano boost. There's the rock to cancel the ults. Immortality Field's going to do a little bit, but he two-taps soon anyway. Barrage coming down from Leaf once again, but he gets taken out of the air by Choi. Good fight for South Korea so far, but they still need to take care of Leaf. He is going to get rezzed. What do they really do now? He's going to take the high ground rather easily in this war of attrition. And with Soon coming back rather soon, South Korea might be in trouble.
Mano's return to the fight, though. Still, South Korea, their front line is at full force. France taking some shield damage, going to have to back out as everyone postures for position around this cart.
What a rock.
Great rock from Choi Oben there. May not be in reservoir territory for Hip, so likely that now it's going to be France backing off. They're going to bleed this time back a little bit, and South Korea now have a definitive advantage in the forthcoming round, should they occur.
That's a lot of extra shielding, 600 plus HP. We'll get whittled down a little bit. Soon has got the tank form as well. As Grasp is going to have to be saved for it. Leaf not really near the barrage. Small little flank there from Carpe. Does use the Ray form to get away. Window is going to come down as well. I'm not entirely sure where that is actually. Soon is not getting windowed at all there. No damage at AMP4 in, but Leaf managed to find a boop on Architect. A good start for France, and South Korea do end up pushing back. But Soon is now alone in the backline in trouble. They just left him alone completely. Hit might be able to get the res off though, but Carpe's already done the damage in the front line. There's still a man down as Chubbs ends up falling to Carpe's hands.
Soon he's got to be more in tune with his tank line here, just allowing FD God to move for a few extra moments. Carpe's not going to have any of that. They're re-engaging Jaws with the tank form. They think they've got him cornered. IDK's down. He had the nano on him too.
That's an easy kill. Thank you very much. Soon gets launched up into the air, straight down into a Blizzard, or maybe not, because Texie's up. Soon's going to get robbed, and Architect now moving forward, gets destroyed as the Supercharger comes out. And Soon, with a clip tap to the body, finishes him off. Carpe going for a desperation play once again. Use the Ray form to get away. Only just managed to escape that hold as well as Mano manages to get a hold for himself as Hefty God falls off the edge.
Slightest of peak angles now. Soon is with his team. Does need to be defended, but he's up high, Jaws. There's going to be a lot of damage being applied, but a self-heal is all he needs. The accretion and a friendly mercy will keep him alive as they try and go down this final sight line.
Flux coming up, Soon's now in the air. That kind of aided him, if I'm going to be honest. There is Architect taken down soon. The barrage is going to come out from Leaf, but it gets denied. South Korea know the game plan of Leaf this time around. And without only a minute remaining, and only a couple ults for this next fight, France are in trouble.
I gotta give credit to Tech 36 for the last two death bottoms coming out of Carpe have been instantly interrupted with that accretion. He's saving it for the correct moment to make sure that Carpe does not present a win condition. South Korea after that, they have to work around just the fact that Tech 36 doesn't have an accretion. Architect almost has a blizzard though. That's what you need to watch for in this forthcoming fight. How can it be mitigated? Tech 36 could eat it, but it's gonna be a huge percentage play, and Architect's gonna look for a primary freeze before then to try and make sure that ability isn't available.
Architect's already popping block. That's a nano, that's a blizzard as well. Carpe launching himself forward. France in shambles as Tech 36 ends up going down, and now only 35 seconds remains for the Frenchman to try and complete. And they might not be able to get it for OT as well. Harry, this feels impossible at this point.
Even with the double boop, does not look like it's going to happen. France, if it does happen, it's going to be in overtime. Then South Korea get themselves a free attack to try and claim this map for themselves. Architect, he's having a bit of a swappy here and there. What's he going to land on? It's going to be the Doomfist. A single pick, Jaws, is all he needs. He wants to counter out Leaf here. It's going to be a battle of the picks. Everyone's on the clock. They need to get value.
Hold, Flux, no beat available from FD. Got to get launched back down to the earth. And 90k finishes him off. Carpe in the front line once again as OT is now here. South Korea, if France finish, they get a free attack, but Architect is going to launch himself in. Chamson soon end up going down, and France are going to fall as South Korea are going to claim King's Row and match point in the series.
I love that swap from Architect onto the Doomfist Jaws. He knows that he needs a quick one-win condition. A single pick will do it, and he manages to find him. Not only that, but France, they were planning for something else. They were planning to go up against the previous DPS that South Korea was showing. Element of surprise being more than enough there. France stymied once again, 2-0 for South Korea.
I said before, maybe France, they pull out something a bit wacky to trick South Korea. I mean, that's what's happened before, where South Korea don't know how to adapt or can't adapt quickly enough. Didn't happen this time around. We're going to jump to a quick break, guys. Do not go anywhere. Potential final map coming up soon.
BlizzCon 2019 is brought to you by T-Mobile. Their newest signal goes farther than ever, and it's built 5G ready. Intel, the official CPU partner of BlizzCon. Cisco, the official networking partner of BlizzCon. And by HyperX. We're all gamers. BlizzCon 2019 is brought to you by Coca-Cola, the official refreshment of BlizzCon. Facebook Gaming, a world of play. Corsair, do your thing. And by NVIDIA.
Welcome back, everybody. South Korea facing up against France. King's Row didn't go France's way, and South Korea still looking for revenge, and they're one map away from doing so.
Hoping that escort is going to be where they start to make their comeback. It has to be the reverse sweep that's going to happen, Jules. But going over to Dorado, that's where I really want to see. Open the Widow on Widow action. We may see some Pharah duels. We do love a good Pharah duel, you and I. Leaf maybe versus Architect here and there, or Haxel. I'm not really sure if we've had any substitutions, but given how prompt it was to move into this map, I imagine we're going to be sticking with the same rosters.
Yeah, I wouldn't be too surprised, to be honest.
Leaf had South Korea's number at the start of King's Row. The barrages were just so good. But they're a little bit more telegraphed, of course, when they enter the Foundry phase of the map. And I gotta say, as soon as you're in an enclosed space at the far up, it's just prime positioning for Architect. You just find a wall, of course, or even a shield to match his face from a Sigma, or even just a couple of icicles will end his life rather quickly. Felt like they needed to maybe change off their comp. Go to Reaper Doomfist a little bit earlier on and salvage some ult bank. France on the defense. South Korea on the offense. South Korea looking to take this one a clean 3-0. France need a comeback. They need to find their reverse sweep now.
That will be South Korea's last hurrah in this tournament. Obviously, they were hoping for first. Maybe we'll have to settle for third unless France can pull off that reverse sweep, as you said. It's going to be the classic French defense, the old Bastion, and of course the Pharmacy alongside it. Some would call it unbreakable, especially if you are British. The Koreans, they don't really mind that much. Choyobin going to get some early poke here, but what are South Korea's win conditions right now? Badoshin, he's on the Zenyatta. That means you've got to put your Discord orb on a single target. Is that Tech 36? Is that the Bastion? Whichever one it's going to be, they're going to take a huge amount of damage when these two projectile DPS start to concentrate their fire.
Soon already going so low. Carpe on the flank is going to get pooped away, but it doesn't matter. South Korea for so much space by Architect, and FD God goes down first as well. It does find the res, but will it cost him anything? That is the question. Carpe is on the high ground now. FD God close to that window. He might have to use it soon, although soon finding a kill on Architect is going to be a good start.
Right now, it's only going to be Mana who is on the cart. FD God's picked off, but Badoshin is trading for this. Potential maybe for a res. Leaf's coming down from on high. He's got his eyes on Choyobin.
Oh, Carpe from the back. He's a secret agent. Choi Bobin's also there as well. There's a perfect pincer from South Korea. IDK is going to go down, yes. But look at this blocks from the back. How do you stop that?
The Flankstion came out and managed to get rid of both of South Korea's supports. They don't need no healing jaws. They got health packs in the Dream. And Carpe in particular, he's got himself the bow and arrow. The cart will continue to roll on forward with FD God maintaining the amplification matrix. Going to be very hard here for France to try and make another engagement potentially. They only have a couple of slow heroes, and Carpe's already scattering them out. As they try to respawn, could find themselves victims of a couple of headshots. As soon as you can see, he's on the Widowmaker, having to try and take these sniping duels, but Carpe could get the drop on him, does not know that Hanzo is potentially behind him.
Oh. Badoshin with happy feet, doesn't manage to dodge out of the way soon. They know where he is now, and Carpe is going to match him, or at least try to go to the SMG 1v1, but Carpe wins it out. Discord orb and a couple extra as well, almost perma-pocketed in that instance. Window's going to come through as well. All that space is now going to be denied because of those dragons coming through. Soon may have got on res, but in the front line, France has taken too much damage. FD God is off to the side. Wasn't quite quick enough to help Tech, who got frozen and insta-killed. But Leaf pays it in kind as Carpe ends up going down as he nears the barrage. He's going one-on-one almost, but once again, Architect just hitting icicle after icicle on the Farah, making her back off. And all the meanwhile, Choi in the front line just doing so much work. Leaf is just having such a difficult time just getting damage done because his front line is just falling so quick.
Yep, he used the Valkyrie jaws, but it was only Leaf who was going to be a recipient of a healing, and 60 HPS isn't enough when you're faced down with the might of South Korea, the accuracy, the mechanical seal, and of course the calling prowess they have. Now Badoshin ready to go over Transcendence. It's been a while since we've seen one of these. If Leaf isn't close enough when he uses Barrage, that damage can be tanked, and Architect
they're still playing
with the May.
Okay.
Strain the comms, Jaws. Strain the comms. Come in from every angle.
And Choi as well. Leaf's going to go down to Carpe. Now what do? Architect's in the back line with the Blizzard. And soon Salone. Leaf gets resurrected, yes, but Chubb's in so much danger. There will be a supercharger, but it does get, well, it just wears out in the end. Not really much else has been claimed. Architect with the Blizzard in the back. France in shambles as South Korea are going to be able to cap this second point.
Choyobin is channeling his inner old Roadhog right here, Jaws. It used to be that you get your pig, you got a lot of health. You can just go on the flank, try and get a hook from behind. So Discord in the enemy. Architect is creating a winter wonderland under Dorado. I didn't know Mexico got this cold.
Dirty stagger. Shouldn't matter too much, of course. The cart still need to open the doors, but does mean South Korea can get a really nice position now.
Out for blood, out for revenge. Carpe going to have a quick scout. Going to be holding down tabs, see what France are moving over to. It's going to be the El Clasico, Reaper, Doomfist, Sigma, Orisa. You know exactly what you're in here for, but they're up against the Hanzo. What is going to be the counterplay here? Not going to be a huge amount of value out of a Dragon Strike, likely.
Oh, they tried to get the hole in, but went a little bit wide. Take 36 now on the ground, trying to duel out against Mano, but Mano is going to get all the backup he needs. IDK now near in the Valkyrie, instantly pops it as soon as it's available as well. They're trying to pressure out Architect, but Carpe once again in the back. Someone just has to turn and deal with him. Just someone solo on the sidelines, maybe soon, maybe something, but Carpe just needs to be dealt with.
Mano's just doing so much. Carpe's free firing this entire time, showing what the peak of mechanical skill in Overwatch can do for you. Regardless of the meta, you get that bow and arrow in Carpe's hands, he's going to tear your team apart if you're not on top of him. France have one last chance to defend here, Jaws. South Korea, they've got chances abound for this attack. 3 minutes and 30 in the time bank, and he's hunting down
Carpe is so good at this game. 80% on ult charge as well. France now a man down, have to deal with Blizzard, but Architect's already dead. There's going to be a supercharger coming through as well. The Resurrection on Architect was perfect, and Carpe just goes to town on the front line. Leaf's going to come back on the Doofus, might have Volt, but Carpe with the Dragons finds 2. And soon on the Trace is going to be the only one that's going to be able to touch, but South Korea still have ults to spare. The ball comes out for the stall, but that is going to be it. A swift boot from Architect kills off Chubbs. And a 3-minute time bank for South Korea on Dorado.
And what we're witnessing, Jaws, is nothing short of brutality. A team some would consider potentially embarrassed by their performance against USA, out to prove that they are still the team that won the Overwatch World Cup 3 times in a row. The throne won't be theirs, but they will potentially take our bronze medal and be back next year to try and recapture that throne for themselves. France, unfortunately, stands between them and reclaiming that glory. Not looking good for them.
It was all about Choi and Carpe at the start. Just flanking up on the high ground and then just pincering France. I proposed the question there at the very end. How'd you deal with Carpe? Did you just send Soon after him in the 1v1? He managed to deal with that one when Soon was on the Reaper. It's almost unstoppable at this point.
Yeah, it's very difficult to deal with that Hanzo when South Korea is presenting so many threats. Sure, you can get onto Carpe, but Choi Open is not playing how you expect a Sigma to be played. He's playing a flanking Sigma, using these hyperspheres like a projectile DPS because he knows he can sustain himself. If everyone runs up on him, that means that your Orisa can move forward as much as she would like. You can still use that experimental barrier, dance around it for a bit of additional self-sustain, and of course you see Krishna on anyone who's getting a little bit too hot up in your business.
Carpe was Hanzo, but they managed to speed him back to spawn just in time. Changing onto the Reaper now. France get the priority here of changing comp if needed rather quickly. South Korea do not have that luxury.
Aggressive hold here from South Korea. Don't want to give France any inches for free. They don't need to actually engage here. They just need to maintain a line of sight on the car. France here, if they had a May, they could wall off South Korea and potentially allow for that car to pass by unchecked. But for now, all South Korea have to do is touch this car. Time is on their side.
Double shield room stall with the May. Rather frustrating to deal with. Any situation, but Mano gets ejected from the room and soon just eats him all up. Same with Choi. There's still a little bit of time here, Burn, but a very, very quick fight for France potentially. Soon does get frozen up, but he's going to heal himself up and has a double pocket as well, of course. But still a bit of extra time, 20 seconds or so being stalled out as the rest of South Korea are eventually killed off or try and retreat.
The supports of France doing a great job of keeping Soon alive, who's now feeling like he can just get into that configuration recon, start using his regular blaster. He needs to find a new location. You can see he and Tech going off on an adventure. Where will they end up? Gonna try and get a flank angle potentially. If they can surprise South Korea, that could be a huge boon for them. Architect's already building up towards that Blizzard. If they can get that onto Soon, may leave them in a very vulnerable position. For now, Choi Obin is controlling this corridor. Leaf is so close to this barrage, potentially thought he could get that with that rocket and then instantly try and take out the off-tank.
Now he really doesn't have to deal with the coalescence if he doesn't want to. Soon's him and the Immortality field doesn't have to worry about what Ocean's cold, but Hip definitely does though, as he ends up going down. No resurrection now available for France, and Architect on the sidelines. Flanking is the name of the game if you're South Korea right now as Carpe takes out Leaf. They're going to be how to hold just under this bridge. The car is going to gently roll back a couple of meters, but France, they have a couple of ults, but issue is Architect can set up so perfectly, do what he's done before, Harry, where he sits on the side, almost baits France in, and then, hey, what do you know? Blizzard right on top of the team.
Speaking of baits, Jaws, both Architect and Carpe are looking to bait the Kinetic Grasp here out of Tech 36. The Kinetic Grasp can mitigate both of their ultimates. An early pick onto Soon may force France to move on back. Tech 36 Going to have to be very judicious about how he uses that ability, especially when it may be needed to protect Leaf. Leaf could use a ground level barrage here to have as much protection as he would like.
Supercharger being used, Leaf from high in the sky, but the beat's going to come through that barrage doing almost negative damage. Carpe's the only one that's really injured. That Blizzard doing so much work though to Tech and Chubbs in the front line, but they still manage to survive for the time being. A halt into a flux, but Carpe's going to take out FD God. Tech 36 has to scurry for cover during his ult as Chubbs ends up going down as well. France with 1 minute and 20 seconds remaining. This is not the same France we saw earlier today.
It's not the same France as well, George. They took the first match ever lost by South Korea in the Overwatch World Cup during our group stage, Group A yesterday. You can smell the need for revenge that South Korea have. They're sitting here with 3 ults and only a minute of a time bank for France. The last hope of EU needs to hang on. They need to win this next fight and get this cart to the checkpoint. Otherwise, their tournament is going to be over, and we're just going to be moving on straight to the gold medal.
FD God and Tech 36 are already dead. 30 seconds now for France, and South Korea burning 2 ults in that fight. Not the worst thing in the world, especially now you put France in a horrible situation where they need to touch as well. Choi has got the flux. France, no way near ults, really. I mean, maybe Leaf gets a barrage at this fight, but that could be it. In fact, no, he's not. He's just going to change over to the Doom. He needs an instant pick.
He needs a percentage play, Jaws. An instant pick is all that Leaf can hope for here. But look, everyone's on different elevations. Are you going to have to invest?
Oh, look at this. Flux is so big. FD God didn't stand a chance. And neither did the rest of France. Choi takes 2 lives. The Blizzard comes out from Architect as well. Leaf's going to be able to touch the payload to cause overtime, but this is just going to be it. France are going to get held potentially just before first. Architect's going to be able to control this so easily now with the walls. A wall-to-wall up Chubbs and separate him from the rest of the team. Leaf is going to go down as well. And South Korea finding revenge against France, who took that win off them earlier on today. A clean 3-0 and a bronze medal for South Korea.
Carpe hunting, chewing through the French lines despite the valiant efforts of the team filled with Tier 2 hopefuls. The Overwatch League veterans, 3-time winners, and now bronze medalists of 2019 will remove them from this series and claim their medal.
Leaf's looking a little bit distraught, but of course you would be too after you beat them earlier on today and now suffer a 3-0 loss. And I think you picked it up perfectly there, Harry, and you said Tier 2 hopefuls. There's so much passion and pride on the French roster. There always has been for sure, but there's so many contenders players on that lineup. Up with Soon and Hip, of course, of the Overwatch League. But imagine being in that position where you can take down just such phenomenal talent in South Korea. They have fallen to them now, but they can definitely continue to hold their heads high knowing they did their country proud.
So many lesser-known names, pro players of Overwatch who will now grace the lips of plenty of Overwatch community members, Tech 36 and Leaf especially, coming out and doing so much to represent themselves so well. Tech 36 coming out as a fantastic Sigma. You and I have cast him for 2 years now. We know him as a fantastic diva. Would he be moving into this meta as a powerhouse? Certainly seems that way, but when we talk about powerhouses, South Korea continues to hold that mantle.
That they do. 3rd place is a medal after all as well. Doesn't look like we got an interview down on the 4 though. Victory moment presented by Coca-Cola with Danny on the ground.
Leg Day and Jaws, thank you very much. BlizzCon, let's give a big, warm round of applause for your bronze medalist, Team South Korea, everybody. Congratulations, Mono. This is it. And I know that this is your 2nd Overwatch World Cup. How did it feel to, represent South Korea playing in the World Cup? 자, 이렇게 해서 대한민국이 3위로 동메달을 따게 되셨습니다. 너무 우승 너무나 축하드리고요. 일단 좀 소감을 좀 듣고 싶어요. 마노 선수 이번이 2번째 오버워치 월드컵이기도 하고 또 이렇게 대한민국을 대표해서 경기를 뛰어주셨는데 그거에 대한 소감 말씀 부탁드릴게요.
먼저 이번에는 4연속 우승을 못하고 3위로 마무리돼서 너무 아쉽고요. 그래도 다들 정말 열심히 했고 이제 실력 좋은 선수들과 코치진들이었으니까 격려와 위로 많이 해줬으면 좋겠습니다.
So first of all, I want to say I'm so sorry, and I do feel a little sad that we couldn't get the 4-peat. We couldn't do 4 years of gold medals, and I am a little sad that we ended up in bronze, getting the 3rd place and getting the bronze medal. But I just want to say we have a very talented coaching staff and players and everybody. So please, everyone, just give pour a lot of love and support for Team South Korea, and thank you guys so much. Mono, I just want to say you guys did end up getting the bronze medal, but that is nothing to laugh at. 3rd place in the World Cup is a huge achievement. So Mono and Team South Korea, congratulations. Let's move on and give our lucky fan our jersey. Mono, can you do me the honor? 자, 이거를 팬분한테 넘겨주시면 될 것 같아요. 팬분이 또 한국에서 넘어오셨대요. 그 한국 팀을 응원하기 위해서 넘어주시고 포옹 한번 부탁드릴게요. Hug! 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 Thank you guys so much. Casters, back to you guys.
Cheers, Danny, and Mono, of course. And that is it. South Korea taking that bronze medal away from France. But yeah, there's a whole lot of love that needs to be poured into the backroom staff as well. Team South Korea, like I mentioned before, definitely holding their heads high. A bronze medal not to be scoffed at.
When we talk about love, Jaws, we have been asking all of you at home and all of you in the arena who have been watching who your Team Mobile MVP is, and so many people have been saying Corey from Team USA. They're going to be coming up next in the gold medal match. It's going to be Corey going up against Eileen, DPS superstars, Jinmu versus Sinatra. It's all going to happen right here to crown the best team, the best country in the world for 2019.
The stage has been set. USA versus China is coming up. UberX are going to be on the mics. It's going to be a heck of a game. You're not going to want to miss it, guys. Do not go anywhere. We'll see you soon.
The 2019 Overwatch World Cup is brought to you by T-Mobile. Their newest signal goes farther than ever, and it's built 5G ready. Omen, the official PC and display of the Overwatch World Cup. And by Coca-Cola, the official refreshment of the Overwatch World Cup.
Mais ils peuvent encore passer. Oh, c'est fait! Le double kill à domicile!
Last 2 years, I represent France. It's a huge honor for us.
Là où personne ne nous voit.
When esport was recognized in US or in Korea, it wasn't in France.
Unbelievable! 3 now for Soon!
It's not representing a team, it's representing a nation, and there's a ton of people watching you because they are French and they want us to win.
And the stage has been set. USA versus China in our gold medal match. Of course, congratulations to South Korea walking away with the bronze medal here at the Overwatch World Cup 2019. I'm Golden Boy alongside Brent, Reinforce, and Sideshow. And gentlemen, we're coming down to the wire here. It's been a long day, but man, have we been treated to some fantastic games of Overwatch.
It almost feels a bit unnatural not to say it's South Korea USA in this final, because I mean that match earlier did feel like a finals in a lot of ways, but I'm sure this one is going to live up to the expectations as well, and I am anticipating as well that USA are going to be tested in a way that they haven't yet. China plays such a weird, wacky, chaotic style almost, with a lot of their players like Jinmu. They love to int.
Yeah, well, that's the style.
love to int.
That's the style of the Chengdu Hunters, right? And it's basically Gushui and Eileen plugged into that system. It feels weird not to see Eamon there on the wrecking ball because normally he's part of the chaos that ensues. But it's a system, whereas the United States, their team has a lot of pieces, but it doesn't really have that team coordination as the foundation of it from the Overwatch.
Sure, but you mentioned wacky picks, but you know, USA plenty capable of being able to do the same thing. We saw them do that in the matchup against South Korea.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I mean, United States of America, they have so many skillful players on this team. I mean, Super in space probably has been the best tank line of all the World Cup. So this is a stacked roster that's incredibly impressive so far this World Cup. So I think they might actually run away with it in this grand final.
Okay, so Johnny believes that they might run away with it. But let's not forget that these are the two teams that were the top performers in their respective groups. And here they are meeting each other first time in the final. Bren, do you feel like it's going to be, you know, a train wreck essentially?
No, not necessarily. I think that the USA are still the heavy favorites in this. I think there's an argument to be made that Group B, which is what China was dominant in, was the weaker group out of the two. And I think that the USA have been trained now. I mean, they've got fantastic coaching behind them. I like to point this out a lot, but they've got Aero, Junkbuck, and Harsha. These guys are coaching some top talent right now. They've all got enough experience now. And not only that, you've got veterans like Super and Sinatra. It feels weird to call them veterans, but that's exactly what they are.
Well, gentlemen, it's now time for the grand finals. It has been a pleasure to be alongside you, but this is it. The matchup we've all been waiting for the gold medal. Let's send it down to Zoe to bring out our two teams.
Thank you so much, Golden Boy. Now is the time to find out who your 2019 Overwatch World Cup champions will be. It's been an amazing day of Overwatch so far. Did you guys have a good time in here? That's what I thought. Now, without any further ado, I want to get this going. I want to get those teams on stage. So please, make some noise for Team USA. Just going with Team China first, fine with me. Please make some noise for Eileen on a damage dealing position. If this Vara is up in the air, you'll always hear the end of the voice line. Please give it up for Jinmu. The man, the myth, the legend, the Bronmo Blade! Make some noise for Gushui! This off-tank never gets cold feet, always up in the action, never letting it go, Elsa! The hunt is never over for this bloodthirsty support. Make some noise for Kyo! And if you want to catch them all, this support is a must-have in your lineup. Give it up for Ivalto! And once more, let's hear it for Team China! And it's about to get loud in here. You know what's coming. Make some noise for Team USA! On a damage-dealing position, serving justice like no other, Kari! And his DPS partner in crime ain't no stranger to a shiny MVP trophy, Sinatra! Ain't nothing sloppy or ugly about this main tank. Make some noise for Super! And this team could not exist in time if there was not their off-tank, Space he got the hair, he got the drip, and his sleep darts are just sick. Give it up for Raucus! And the only one of his kind who will make you fly towards the light. Make some noise for Moth! And once more, make some noise for Team USA! This is it. It's the final match of the day, the gold medal on the line. So let's send it over to our casters, Uber and Mr. X.
On Thursday, we had our preliminary matches. Teams from all around the world came here to Anaheim to compete for a shot to get into this arena. Friday, our group stages, Matthew Morello, and now we have
a long weekend.
One piece of business left to attend to. No matter what happens here today, there will be a first-time gold medal winner here at the 2019 Overwatch World Cup. China or the United States of America.
You know, China, they just recently played. I mean, they play against France. I don't want to say just recently, but how fast
Recently
South Korea played against France. It's pretty recent in terms of schedule of the whole day. USA, they've had a lot of time just sitting around. I think at the beginning of the series, looked to see maybe in the first control map, like China come out and look really strong. And I think also, we talked about it when we did USA versus South Korea, but USA they were so excited winning that match. I mean, that was the match that they had always dreamed of winning. But China is a very tough team. We have to see them really come out and give a good, strong effort at the beginning.
They were denied glory last year in 2018, taking that silver medal. China looking to go just one better. You can see the group of fans here in the arena. A whole section of it is cordoned off for them, and the USA chants have already filled these halls today. You see these players on your screen, well known to all of us, especially those familiar with the highest level of Overwatch competition, the Overwatch League. United States of America, every year, great expectations been on their shoulders and a lot of pressure. And a very vocal fan base who expects the best and a pool of players that definitely can produce superstars. Now, finally, they have the chance to go all the way.
The feel was a bit different, though, this year. Like, you had Sinatra, you know, the MVP of the Overwatch League, right? You had, Moth, Super as well. Like, it's a new kind of core you're building around, right? They have so much young talent in USA, right? KSF, we haven't seen him today, but Corey as well. We're getting to see the amazing things he can do in the damage-dealing role. They just had a way different feel as a team, as a unit this year than as opposed to last.
These players are familiar with each other, obviously competing in the league, but internationally, this is the first time that the United States have played against China.
That's interesting, yeah.
And these two teams are incredibly different from what we've seen this year.
Well, China, they like to mix it up and play a lot of different things. We've seen them run a lot of Sombra. We've seen them run Winston Wrecking Ball. They're very difficult to game plan against. And then also with the individual skill that these players have. I mean, Jinmu is amazing on the Pharah, the Hanzo, even Genji, we've seen them. And then anytime you can have Gushue play Winston, you like that type of composition. I mean, he is tremendous at the hero.
And we saw the first time the United States went up against South Korea. South Korea played pretty fast and loose, right? They played this quite aggressive style.
China won't
never
play
reminded me. Yeah, that's right. China, though, do like to play aggressively, but they were
more together.
Exactly, because much of this team is formed by the core of the Chengdu Hunters. That one of the few teams that we've really seen to be able to take this seemingly chaotic play style, but one that's driven by aggression, and be able to involve a lot of coordination in what they do. And that is something that the United States have not faced yet in this tournament.
No, and I mean, we casted China's first game of the whole group stages, their whole tournament, really. And they looked really strong in that one. We didn't see them again, but we heard, hey, they're beating everybody pretty bad. 3-0s, 3-0s, 3-0s. Their game today, they end up losing a game, but still, they have looked very strong throughout. I think they've just kind of gone a little bit under the radar because everyone was so hyped for that USA-South Korea match.
We have dream matchups in every position right now. In the tanks, of course, the off-tanks, Elsa versus Space is going to be fascinating. Incredible, world-class damage dealers on either side of the stage. Everything you could ask for in a match like this. And one more time for all the marbles, we're going to be starting off on Ilios. Make some noise, BlizzCon Arena, and it's time to crown a 2019 Overwatch World Cup